Yeah, we're jumping into the first game here.
Yeah, absolutely. First game is going to be on enclosed. Let's hope it's not as long as the enclosed game that Yo had yesterday. That was a long one, but we've got Yo in the blue. We've got Nikov in the red, and the map is enclosed. With me is Jordan. Happy to be here, Jordan. We're in for a treat of a best of 7.
T90, I can only say the same here. It's a pleasure to cast with you as always. Unfortunately, 2 days ago we had it scheduled, but something came up here, so we're doing it today. And Qmans is a pick for Mr. Yo. And when I saw the draft, I was like, okay, Qmans are going to be used either on Moras or on this map here, because you have a lot of food here as well. You have the 2 rhinos, you have the 4 sheep with the 2 extra buffaloes, and you get the 4 deers as well. And most of the time you push them in anyway, because there's not too much to scout anyway. You know how the map is shaped like anyway. The most important thing if you're scouting is the distance to your opponent, because sometimes on enclosed it can spawn in a way that you're very close to each other, but not in this case. So Qmans make a lot of sense because you don't need to invest into the farms that fast, and therefore you have wood where you can, which you can use to, be flexible to what your opponent is throwing at you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can go for the cheaper stables and cheaper archer ranges here, and a common approach on this map is a feud lage opening. But with Yo, I'm almost always thinking this is going to be some 2 TC play. I actually think this is a positive for Nikov, even if he loses this game, because that Qmans pick is just like, he's been dreading it ever since he saw it on the draft. So he's just getting that over with, right, in game number 1. And it would be a really big confidence boost as well to be able to beat one of those style picks, one of those specialty picks from Yo to start off the series here.
Absolutely. Also, I know that Nikov hates playing against Qmans.
Oh, absolutely.
And he also hates playing with them.
Same.
So usually he's always batting them. But we talked about it as well. Like, against Mr. Yo, you want to get rid of the Mesosivs, right? Because that's where he excels the most, especially if we're thinking about Aztec. So I understand why Nikov banned those 2 civilizations here. And, Nikov with Portuguese, some people might argue they are like top 3 right now in most maps because they're so versatile. In the past, they have been always strong in, let's say, late Castle Age and Imperial Age. The beginning was not the strongest, but now with the boost of the berries, they get even stronger from the beginning. And on this map, there's a lot of berries to take, to take as a Portuguese player.
That villager on Nikov's berry bush has been stuck there ever since you started talking. There we go. Thank goodness. I was getting a little tilted here, Jordan.
Yeah, I hate that when that happens, right? As a player, you look at there and he's like, go to work. Do something.
Well, look at this. We have the barracks coming up for Yo, and this is the thing about the Qmans. You expect the second TC. Yo maybe will delay that TC, or maybe he won't do it at all. We'll see. Nikov as well is gone forward to feudal age here, or fast to feudal age here. There was a world where maybe Yo was hoping that Nikov would try a fast castle. Some people try a fast castle to counter the Qmans, but Nikov just sticking to his original game plan. He's going to be going for scouts. And if it's just scouts v scouts right now, I prefer Nikov's position. I think I start to prefer the Qmans if they've got a big Vill lead. But if it's just a standard scout opening, while Qmans can do it, I prefer Portuguese.
Absolutely. And in that regard, Qmans don't have anything going for them, except that the stable costs a little bit more, a little bit less wood compared to other civilizations, but that is everything there. And we see indeed the stable here. Usually what is being played most of the time as a Qman player is that you build 2-3 scouts in general, so you have 3-4 out on the field, and then after that you add the TC to get your villager count up and rising, because if the Qman player plays it completely standard, then they don't really have any advantage. I mean, there could be mind games, but you don't want to mind game yourself here.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's not going to hurt Yo to make a little bit of army here. Nikov already has gone to gold, already going for a range. This is super early. Typically, you're going to have about 3 or 4 scouts on the field moving around before you even go to gold. So Nikov, I think, thinking that Yo's going to try and get the TC up and that he's going to rely on his own scouts, but also some spearmen in defense. And as Nikov tries to engage here and Yo wisely moves away, Nikov backs away there nicely as well. But again, archers should be coming out soon for Nikov. I think he needs a spearman with the archers, though. What do you think about that?
I don't think it is absolutely necessary because he has his own scouts as well, so he can always use those to protect the archers. Right? It always depends on how much Yo commits to the scouts and how much Nikov then responds to as well. And we see a little bit of a shift from Mr. Yo as well.
Wow.
Instead of going for the second TC, which is usually the follow-up building after the stable, he goes for the archery range. And that means, I mean, that in general is super good for Nikov because he delays the second TC further and further.
Yeah.
And now also blacksmith. So, you know, Mr. Yo has to make a decision. Will he use the wood for going for the second TC now? Or does he respawn also with a blacksmith? And I think if he uses the blacksmith, he's going to be severely behind in terms of what he could potentially get.
Absolutely. And then it's more so just outplaying your opponent at that point, which Yo can obviously do. Nikov will need one more palisade wall here. This is the first game in a crazy series, and he gets the quick walls down here. That was sick from Nikov. Very well played. Still needs to make sure he hits the palisades properly, does so, and defends from the attack. But Yo had seen that gold a long time ago, Jordan. That's probably why he added his own range. It's probably why he has a skirmisher at home. But he doesn't have his scouts at home right now. This could be trouble.
Absolutely. No scouts, no fletching incoming as well, and there's a little bit of a clash incoming in the moment, but it's not going to happen too much, I guess, and the scouts are going to be helping out on that fight as well very soon. And yeah, because fletching is in, Nikov is capable of just, you know, pushing that army away. And Mr. Yo is kind of forced to delete a house here.
And he's housed as well. So he deleted the house, but he needed that house. Nikov won't know this, of course, but this is great for him. And, oh, man, if Nikov continues to advance here, I'm sure he's distracted at home. He will find multiple villager kills on this delayed TC. That's not an issue for Nikov. You'll be happy with that. And Nikov, if you pull your range units over right now, you'll deny the TC entirely.
Absolutely, and gotta keep in mind the second TC in Feudal Age for the human player takes so much longer to build compared to the cast age TC. And therefore, Mr. Yo has no chance whatsoever to finish the TC up right now, and a lot of units are idle here. It's very, very important that both players are microing their heart out right now, and it feels like Nikov is coming out ahead here.
Yeah, absolutely. It was messy, right? Like, I think we've seen better micro from Nikov in this event. But the fact that he's been able to kill 2 villagers there, still maintain some type of army control is good.
Absolutely.
I also have some questions on if Yo's going to be able to keep 2 TTs working, right? Like, I can't see his farming eco from here, but I see 6 on food at the top. Yeah, that's not a pretty farming eco for 2 TCs at all here, Jordan.
Absolutely not. We can also see that Nikov is up 4 villagers already, 33 to 29, and that is not something you usually see as humans in the game. So, yeah, it is definitely a rough start for Mr. Yo. He's able to pick off 1 spearman here, but he lost all the scouts in the process while everything was going on here. So, you know, having messy games is usually a situation where Mr. Yo is excelling. However, in this situation, I would say Nikov is pretty fine with how everything went so far.
Nikov's micro is so good here. He kills both the spearmen, the scout's still alive here. I would say that the downside for Nikov as a player is when the micro doesn't work out, right? Because he commits his build towards so much army. There are moments at times, he's not perfect, where you can't have that top tier, top 5 micro. And then if he doesn't have that, then suddenly you're looking at his economy like, ooh, that's kind of rough, right? So he hasn't won the game just yet. He is actually going to fall behind in villagers, but it's been a nice start. Yo, though, in the spot he finally wants to be in. And as he could lose a couple skirmishers here, Yo has 2 TCs and villagers are producing out of both of them, Jordan.
The problem for Mr. Yo right now is that he doesn't even have any blacksmith upgrades as well, right? So there's just no way he can compete against that army. And on the other side, Nikov has utilized the market, sold the stone, and his priority right now is to get up to cast age as fast as possible. And he's, you know, not too far away from that. And once he reaches Castle Age, I mean, of course you could raid a lot with crossbows, but usually if you're against humans, you also want to apply the pressure with Monk Siege, just to, you know, make it as uncomfortable for the human player as possible. We see Mr. Yo has expanded to second berry bush as well. I would expect the same for Nikov. Comes in handy as Portuguese, and yeah, we have the confirmation here. He did the same there.
Yep, and you see a random tiger attacking a villager. Don't worry here, Jordan. I'm always going to bring up the important things for you.
I'm so happy about that. I appreciate those kind of things, really.
Okay, okay. I can't tell if it's sarcasm or
No,
not.
I do, really. I like, my favorite is when birds are flying around and, you know, all are clumped up together in one spot, and then, you know, for example, you just look at them for 2 minutes straight.
Yeah.
It's like...
Come on, I don't do 2 minutes. More like 10 seconds. Oh, man. Jordan damaging my reputation over here. Well, you know, nice find there from Yo, because Nikov, he's trying to be sneaky, and he's also continuing to make archers. So he needs to be careful he doesn't lose these. But again, for Yo, it's the same issue. He doesn't have any blacksmith upgrades.
Yeah, and that is the reason why Nikov can engage there without any issue. Even if Mr. Yo had fletching, you could still fight the skirms because the archers deal enough damage against the skirms.
Yep.
It becomes very tricky if the armor upgrade is coming in for those skirms, because then the archers only do 1 damage per shot, which, you know, feels like they just cannot kill the skirm there whatsoever. And we see a stable being planted down for Nikov. It is like not super forward, but kind of halfway through. I don't know how to describe that one.
Sure, I know what you mean. It's like, yeah, it's in the middle.
It's in the middle.
It seems like that villager is on the warpath here. That villager is going to run forward here to build something else. Usually it's a siege workshop. Yo, expecting some siege or the archer pressure is dropping a tower. And this is a situation where I would feel so helpless if I were Yo.
Absolutely.
So I'm curious to see if he can bring himself out of this. But Nikov's just like destroying him everywhere you look. He's going to take out the skirms. He's taken out a villager. Or not a villager, excuse me. But still, I mean, this is before the knights come forward, and this is before the siege arrives.
Yeah. I love the fact that Mr. Yo has, you know, reacted properly. He went to stone because he knew exactly he's going to be later to cast stage than his opponent.
Yep.
I need to defend with towers, otherwise there's no way for me to fight against those crossbows. And if the crossbows surround your TC, like, yeah, you have more villagers, but the work efficiency is plummeting heavily. So tower is the only way to go here. And now with the siege workshop, most people forget about that. Even on the high level, you can build the siege workshop in Feudal Age already as the human player. And that is just buys yourself time. Upon reaching castle age, you can build a mangonel or scorpion, whatever you need, right away.
Yep.
And therefore you can defend better.
I like to see Nikov either get armor for his knights or get an eco upgrade here.
Yeah.
I know it's like the meme with Nikov. It doesn't really apply anymore to his play. He's getting eco upgrades all the time.
Yep.
But like, they're floating a lot of res there, Nikov, right? And you're applying a lot of pressure, and there might be a point here where the pressure doesn't do exactly what you're hoping for. So let's see if he can maximize on either his eco or make those knights a little bit stronger. But at the end of the day, it is knights against feudal age units. There's the mangonel going for the tower. The tower won't actually last too long here. And Nikov's also going to have monks on the front. And the thing with Portuguese is that all their gold units are discounted. So the monks are 80 gold. The crossbows have been cheaper. The knights have been cheaper. This is why people are obsessed with the Portuguese right now.
Absolutely. And I love what Nikov is doing right now. You know, with the tower, you feel safe, but against Mangonel, there's just not anything you can do. If Nikov manages to repair that one, he's low on gold, so there might be... Okay, he's buying himself gold. That was a clutch reaction for Nikov right now. And yeah, the tower is going to be doomed here. There's just no way that one can be saved. And Mr. Yo, you can see, he has more villagers, yes, 9 in total. However, they are not really collecting resources, right?
We have a pause. Obviously, at a crucial moment in the game, Yo immediately stood up. Nili with a sprint. In socks as well. This is slippery floor. Dangerous game to be playing.
Absolutely.
And hopefully everything's good for Yo here.
Could kind of say that Nili is risking everything for everything to run smooth.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, he's just sacrificing everything.
Yeah, gotta appreciate that.
But when I look at Nili, the first thing I think is athlete.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he's like built like an athlete.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So he's going to be fine.
No.
But I mean, this pressure from Nikov is unbelievable. We are back in business. I'm not really sure whatever it was. I think Yo sorted it out, and we're going to continue here. But I don't know if this game's going to last much longer here for Yo. I mean, his villagers are all underneath the TC or in the TC. And those 2 step lancers need max value, Jordan. There they go. Can he kill all of this pressure here from Nikov?
You know, Mr. Yo has to micro his heart out in order to do so, but it's going to be a very tough task for sure. We see another siege workshop being built by Mr. Yo, so he will be able to get some mangonels out to defend. However, you know, total army count is 2 right now, so...
Jordan is dying for the moment. Jordan, take your time. It's all good.
Sorry about that one. I forgot to breathe.
I think as we get older, we kind of get lazy, and occasionally just like normal things. You know, just like I don't know what it is, but like the last couple of years for me, just be like start coughing randomly, and my fiance be like, "What happened?" I'm like, "I don't know. I don't know."
Yeah, makes sense.
Well,
we're getting there.
Yeah, well, it is still a Vill lead for Yo, and like Nikov has shifted off away from the gold because he lost one of his mangonels, so he's concerned he's going to lose another one.
Yep.
And I would be so dead here if I was Yo. Absolutely. This game would never go longer, and yet it kind of feels like it's going to continue on here.
You know, what Mr. Yo really excels in is the fact that he's getting pressured and he keeps his cool and often goes for a counter raid because he knows, okay, his opponent is going to most likely pay a lot of attention to the push he's going for, and he most likely will not have all the attention to his own base, and therefore Mr. Yo is saying, okay, I will not be able to out-micro the front at the push. I will just try to, you know, keep your focus away from the push and just try to make you make it a chaotic game, so to say. And you know, if he's defending at home, then all of a sudden there might be rooms for Mr. Yo to defend and make some good plays.
Absolutely. Yo has a monk coming out of the monastery, so we could convert a knight there. Nikov did notice this, and he's going to be sending his knights in against the Steppe Lancers, but the Steppe Lancers are pretty good at killing villagers, pretty good at sniping siege, which might be Yo's next plan. And Nikov, he does have the second TC up. He is still 10 villagers behind. His pressure continues, though.
I love what Nikov is doing here. It's like he makes the best out of his army. However, there's an engagement coming in. Mangonels are fighting each other. Nice back to both of them.
Oh, and good shot from Nikov. Great shot. He's also going to keep that monk alive. No, he doesn't. But still has, I mean, knights are better than Steppe Lancers in a straight-up fight. Still has 3 monks, 2 crossbows, and everything here. And Yo still, while the counterattack happens, while he distracted Nikov, he's still got some big answers to supply us here.
Absolutely. So far, both players have been playing very, very good so far. I love the fact that also Nikov has been adding economy in the back as well. And now we see a kind of a panic tower. And I don't think Nikov is going to allow that one. Yeah, indeed. Mr. Yo is forced to retreat here. And the Monk-Knight combination just seems to be a little bit too much for Mr. Yo here. Yeah,
Knights and Steppe Lancers diving against the Monks here. He's still no armor for Nikov, though. So the TC will actually do quite a bit of damage. Yesterday, Jordan and I casted Nicov against Vinchester. He got ballistics for 6 crossbows. He just completed ballistics for 5 crossbows. Oh, and the attack round from Nikov was disgusting, but Nikov getting ballistics for a very, very small number of crossbowmen. It's not something you love to see, but he is making more of them now.
He wants to transition away from the knights and focus fully on to those crossbows. I understand the logic behind there, but yeah, I also agree the ballistics timing seems a little bit too fast. Yeah, Mr. Yo so far has been able to defend. However, if we take a look at the village count, it's not looking that good for Mr. Yo anymore.
Agreed. Yeah, Nikov going to make a monastery at home. Nikov getting wheelbarrow now for an increased economy, still making knights, still making crossbows. Look at his queue, man. He's producing everything he can. He's got villagers, crossbows, knights, had monks in queue. Mangonel obviously could come out as well, but I think for the time being, he feels happy with the 1 Mangonel because he's still just battering away at that TC.
Yeah. And at this point, you know, when you're putting on the aggression, you always have to think about, okay, how much do I want to commit to the aggression and how much do I, you know, spend the resources back at home to grow your economy. This is also heavily dependent on the players, first of all, and second of all, depends on the civilizations. And yeah, here in this case, Nikov, as the Portuguese, is going to be fine to fight against the Cumans in the longer run as well, because Portuguese are just so strong in Imperial Age, and therefore we see him shifting away the attention, not fully focused on the aggression all the time, but I think he's balancing it beautifully. And Mr. Yo is forced to do a lot of quick balls here, and Nikov is doing such a good job with those knights.
That's so great. He might not even lose a knight here, Jordan. He might actually be able to heal up these weak knights, and he could always return the favor and do the same thing. I mean, Yo has tried and tried again. He's going to try once more to get counterattacks in, but he's not finding the damage. And if he doesn't find the damage with this next counterattack, I think this push from Nikov is slowly going to break him.
Absolutely. I mean, now with Nikov also having ballistics, oh, there's a Mangonel. And no, Nikov is just on point. He's not even getting an attack by the Mangonel here. And now Nikov gets a confirmation as well that there is indeed a counterattack attempt happening, but he will be able to defend very easily with ballistics on the TCs and also on the incoming crossbows. Redemption incoming.
Nikov's micro is ridiculous. It's insane. And I don't know if that amount of light cap is going to be enough here. We'll see. A couple monks are going to go down. It's a good attempt from Yo. 2 light cap get converted though. Monks still stand. Mangonel's down. And Yo's counterattack, again, this is like his last chance here. He's got to find a whole bunch of villager kills. Otherwise, his TC is going to go down and he's in trouble.
Yeah. Okay, there are 2 light caps also trying to return the favor because they did it first for Mr. Yo. Now they're going to try the same for Nikov here. And that army, beautiful conversion also for Nikov. And Nikov, you know, he's 1,000 score ahead already. He will go for the Cav upgrade right now. So ideally as the Portuguese player...
Look at this. He's pulling back the weak knights.
Love it.
He pulled back the weak knight to heal it up. He's going to pull back the next one as well.
He's definitely on point here. He definitely came to play here, that's for sure.
The level Nikov has brought to NAC4 has been insane, but the level he's opened this series up with really should be scaring Yo. If Yo ends up losing this game, he might have a moment where he's like, whoa.
Yep.
Like, I really need to play better to have any chance here today.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
And T90, you mentioned it earlier. With Portuguese, you get a discount on the gold units, right? If I'm not mistaken, 20%. So, having the crossbow, knight, mangonel, monk combination, that's like the most lethal combination you can go for in Age of Empires 2. And that's kind of what Nikov is attempting to do right now. He needs to expand his farm economy though, with 16 only. He's not going to be able to require that. But yeah, now the mangonel goes down here.
I'm a little speechless here, Jordan.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, this is just incredible. Because typically you have all this army, but when you have 12 step lances at your base and you're trying to convert with monks, of all things, and garrison villagers, you make mistakes. But, okay, let's just add that attack round into the whole equation. Nikov is going to push in towards that wood line. He's going to find another TC. 25 villager lead for Nikov now.
I think it will expand pretty soon as well. There is a very, very exposed TC there. And if that one goes down, I think around 20 villagers are, you know, at their risk, at their life. So Mr. Yo has to commit fully onto the defense here.
Big attack round, big attack round. Nikov needs a big attack round. He gets the attack round. He kills half the army, as if it already wasn't bad enough for Yo. Wow, what a great move from Nikov. He will still maintain control here. Had he not got that attack round, I think Yo maybe cleans it up, but instead he only cleans up the siege.
I mean, he is able to buy himself a little bit more time. However, the attack round was just, you know, miraculous
I think
by Nikov.
I'm going to come off as a critical caster here, but don't you think a player of Yo's quality should split there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
Like that's something, you know, when you're engaging into mangonels, you have to watch out for those attack rounds.
Yeah.
And at least attempt the split, right? If then the opponent anticipates that one and attacks ground your split, then it's a different topic.
Correct.
Right? But in this case, I agree. Because, you know, also as a player, you have to find the best moment where to pay attention to what. And in this case, you have to pay attention to that.
Okay. Well, great game from Nikov here. He really likes to do this. Like, if I'm in his position, my crossbows and my knights stay where my villagers are going to drop the castle.
Yeah.
He did this earlier as well with his 5 archers when he was waiting to get crossbowmen and bring forward the villager.
Yeah.
But he always commands such control of the map that his opponent always responds to the army, meaning that he's in the position to drop the castle. Now, I'm probably cursing. He's probably going to like get this castle denied or something. But the point is, Nikov just so bold with his army and continues to press onward here.
Yeah, overall also 140 population for Nikov. 95 only for Mr. Yo, and he's a Cuman player. That's not how it's supposed to be. Usually Cuman players around 30 population up because most of it is in the village account. And yeah, Nikov up to Imperial Age, 1 minute remaining here until he reaches that one. And Mr. Yo, he has access to building Kipchucks now. Kipchucks is a very good unit if you're capable of massing them. But right now they are not the scariest, especially not against Arbalest incoming. It's not going to be a pretty fight here.
Yeah, the Kipchuck is more of a timing unit. Can be very strong when you have a bit of an eco lead, need to push across the map.
Yep.
Allows you to do a lot more with this Civ. And Yo is going to potentially tap out here once he knows that Trebs are going to come out of that forward castle. It is Yo we're talking about. So, and it's the first game, and players tend to play on a bit longer in the first game. But this is a pretty insurmountable task, I think, for Yo.
He stays in there. I mean, Mr. Yo, he is known to be a fighter, right? For me, the two biggest fighters, or okay, let's say three biggest fighters in Age of Empires 2 are ACCM, Mr. Yo, and MBL.
Okay,
right?
okay.
And we kind of saw that yesterday, if you know what I mean.
Yep, absolutely. Here we have some light cap from Yo, and he's going to kill those monks. Nikov will save every single monk in that TC. Beautiful play. Could also hop out of the TC and try and take the Step Lancers. All the while he's making a trap. He's going into crossbowman. Doesn't have bracer yet. Nikov's economy is not the prettiest for 138 villagers. He's got 60 on wood, Jordan, and only 25 on food, 12 on gold. But again, Yo, I've seen comebacks, but normally it's all in knights. He doesn't really have the numbers right now, but he is trying. I see some knights in queue.
Yeah. T90, what are the odds that we see a repeat of yesterday's in close games?
I mean, hopefully very slim. I don't know if I want to do 2 in 2 days. That was insane. It is not the best sign for Nikov fans that Nikov decided to drop a watchtower in his base for this army, right?
Yeah.
So he is really trying to commit a lot forward right now. But again, I'm just not really seeing a solid enough army from Yo.
Absolutely not.
But, okay, Nikov, we should add this to his thing now. It's not lack of eco upgrades.
Villagers.
It's over booming with villagers on occasion. We had a little bet the other day when Nikov was playing. Did he play you? I think he... Did you?
He played against me, yeah.
Okay, so I think it was that series. And I said, all right, boys, in Feudal Age, I said, let's start making bets on what Vill count Nikov gets to this game. Dave's at 156, and there was a point where he had 150 with 6 more in queue, and everyone was freaking out. But Nikov took it up to 165. So
what game was it? Golden Swamp?
I think it was Golden Swamp.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But I mean, it's not it's a big talking point. It's not necessarily an overboom because like players tend to make villagers until they're 200 pop. Then at that point they think, okay, maybe we can delete some things. But when you don't have Arbalest yet, it's much better to save the food and get those upgrades. It's just very hard to realize in the moment that you have overboomed.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's a discussion. I've been in that kind of topic as well a couple of times. I personally think there is an overboom because you also have to keep in mind if you have, let's say, 150 or 160 villagers, then all of a sudden your army size is maxed out on 40.
Yeah.
And that means that army is going to trade way worse against an army of 70. Even though you have more resources, you're kind of wasting them as well, right? So you have to find a balancing point there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, fortunately for Nikov, he still is an age ahead.
Yeah.
But he did just lose 2 of his 3 trebuchets. And as he loses villagers, he's still adding more. The stress is here. It's a crazy best of 7. Nikov's at 159 villagers. He's got more in queue. Nikov.
Will we see the 165 again?
He did cancel the queue of vills.
Okay, he did. Okay.
But as someone who once boomed up to 174 villagers in a tournament game, I think he will get back to a point in the middle of a fight where he just queues up vills. Because you're like, produce army, micro army, get upgrades, produce vills.
It's a habit.
We'll see if that habit continues here for him.
Right now I'm always looking at the villager count if it's like queuing up more. Like that's the most important thing for me right now.
Okay, you keep your eye on that. Okay, I'll look at the Arbalest number. Yeah, I mean he's got 27 Arbs now.
Yep.
Yo doesn't really have a massive army. Yo is losing ground. He's lost his castle. He'll lose his TCs here. And I think any direction Yo goes right now, he will find Arbalest. So as funny as it was to chat about the overboom here, I really do think Nikov has done enough to win this one.
Absolutely. I mean, it's so tough for Mr. Yo right now. Like, what can he really do? The only thing he can do is go for the Knights, but Knights are also not the best unit against the Arbalest. You kind of need Imperial Age to fight against those.
Yeah.
And we see a beautiful micro. by Nikov as well, pulling back to the castle as well to get the shots in. And those knights are just going to be completely melted. Mr. on the other side, 120 population now against the almost 200 for Nikov. Not even able to get the trap. Okay, never mind, he gets that one, but at what cost? That's the question.
Yeah, exactly. That was everything he had, right?
Yeah.
That was his life savings.
Yep.
And he spent it all on killing one trebuchet, so not really the best use of that. Nikov going for Cavalier now. I mean, why not, right? He's got more resources floating and more resources coming in than Yo. So why not just go for stables too?
Why not? Just, you can do kind of anything with Portuguese, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, what I would love to see for Nikov to kind of close out the game is to see a castle on the right-hand side as well, just to get the map presence on that side as well, because right now Nikov only has the full presence on the south side, but nothing on the east side of the map. So that's something which could be added from him. He has 10 villages on stone, so maybe he's thinking in that direction. But yeah, there's just a huge push coming from Mr. Nikov in the south side, and Mr. Yo is going to struggle a lot.
Yo made a tower on the wood line, which is really funny.
Yeah.
They were chopping towards each other there. Maybe that would be Yo's best comeback condition, to chop through the middle and then raid with like light cav or something there, because Nikov would never expect that. But then again, he's going to lose all those villagers soon, so what do I know? What is Yo doing here, Jordan? I mean, the score lead is like 6K right now for Nikov.
Also, when I'm reading the chat, resign, resign. we're already stretching ourselves as well. Like,
yeah.
But that's like, you know, that's Mr. Yo. Like,
he's warming up.
He's fighting, and he's riding the GG.
Yeah, he's riding the GG indeed. And for Yo, he's just going to sit back and think, oh, man, maybe I should have just gone for the 2TC right away here.
Yeah, like I played Cumans a couple of times on Enclosed as well, and I understand that you want to build the army, but if you build the army, that automatically delays your biggest strength, which is the villagers increasement, right? So I'm not 100% sure what is the right approach here.
I think there is going to be a theme here, though, and that theme is going to be Nikov's aggression.
Yeah.
And look for more of that every single series. I think with the civilizations, especially on some of these maps that incorporate some water, Nikov's builds are going to be the fast uptime builds that are designed around killing quickly. For Yo, his weakest point is probably early feudal, right? Like the longer the game goes, the better Yo probably is as a player. Yep. So he'll look for the more creative ways to get around that.
Yep.
But he did pick Moras as a civilization, and we thought maybe Cuman's there because you get a lot of food income. You can build the TC on the shorefish. It's very hard to deny it. Yep. I'm kind of curious now what he's thinking. I know that yesterday we saw Moras for like one of the first times or second times. Now we saw a lot of scouts from Hera, so maybe his Magyars?
It must be Magyars. Anything else would heavily surprise me because, I mean, Magyars in theory could also be used on Rocky Forest, but I don't see that. Like Magyars is wow, okay, I have an idea. It just popped into my mind.
Khmer.
Mr. Yo will pick Berbers and he will go for the villager rush.
On Moras?
Moras.
Oh, it sounds like someone's been villager rushed by Yo one too many times.
Yeah, I have nightmares every time I face against Lix and Mr. Yo, and they have Berbers. It is definitely an option.
I mean,
absolutely.
Okay. I was thinking Khmer, and you play very open with mills on shorefish, obviously, and you build houses. Mm-hmm. So you could just hop into the houses if pressure came in.
Yeah, makes sense.
So that's an option, but obviously I think Khmer has been seen so frequently on Frigid Lake that's likely where Yo is going to play the Khmer civilization.
Exactly. Also in Rocky Forest, Khmer has been played a couple of times as well. So it is really, really tough for us to make a judgment where, you know, Mr. Yo will pick his civilization on which map, and we see Magyars. No.
Magyars. Jordan, such a noob caster. Guessed the wrong strategy.
I wanted to see the Berbers. I have to do it next tournament.
Maybe if he was up 3-1 or something, then he would have tried it. But at this point, it's game number 2, and he is down a game to Nikov. Yeah. And, you know, Nikov's pick, way more surprising for me. He's gone for the Vikings here.
Super surprising.
You know, Vikings, I think the only time we've really seen them has been on Golden Swamp, which is one of the maps that is available. Yeah. So Nikov might have a unique build for us here. you used to think Vikings, you used to think Man-at-Arm Archers. They're one of the best at that, if not the best at that. But the fact that they were so strong in Empire Wars, which we really don't see as much these days in Age of Empires 2, got them a nerf. And they lost thumb rings. So in the mid-game, their archers just feel kind of weak. Their stable's very stale, always has been. So for Nikov, I think while his economy's good, having free wheelbarrow isn't actually that helpful on the Shorefish map because wheelbarrow is more of a farm bonus. Maybe it's just the extra HP on the Man-at-Arms that Nikov is hoping to rely on here.
I think it's both, because the Shorefish also depletes rather fast because the villagers, gather that so quickly.
Okay.
And then you have kind of the combination of running back and forth to the Shorefish. It is a little bit of a thing, so it can have an
impact. So you think wheelbarrow can actually have an impact on this map?
I think so. That's why civs like ACCM could be thought about as well on this map, but yeah, they're not the very strongest. And also what is really helpful as well for wheelbarrow is that your villagers are faster, so when your opponent is attacking you, you have more potential to actually save villagers because they're running faster. So
that's true.
That is the idea behind, and obviously also the infantry HP. We always see Man-at-Arm opening on this map. You kind of have to, right?
Yeah, sure.
You could in theory wall, but it's really tough to wall this map up as well. So Man-at-Arms 9 out of 10 times is going to be played, and having more HP on those infantry units is not too shabby.
Okay, both players have now located each other. Nikov went forward first thing. He now sees Yo's scout. If anyone wants to take a fight in Dark Age, it would be the Vikings here, because the Magyar scout gets stronger in early Feudal. We see some walling here from Yo. Nikov's chasing down the scout. And another thought that just came to mind. If you thought Berbers, maybe Nikov thought Yo would go Berbers. What's faster, a Berber villager in Feudal Age or a Viking villager in Feudal Age because they get wheelbarrow?
I would say the Viking wheelbarrow is faster.
I don't actually know the answer.
I don't know as well, but I would say so. Maybe we can get a confirmation on that.
I would say it's very close.
It is super close.
It's very close, and close enough where maybe if that was a big enough threat for you, that you could have picked it. But then again, I think the Vil Rush would have maybe come in already. So there's got to be other reasons that Nikov would have gone Vikings. The barracks is up, militia are on the way, Jordan, so we'll be Man-at-Arms versus the eventual scouts for Yo.
What we see from Mr. Yo right now is there were people picking Magyars on this map, and they opened with Man-at-Arms, 3 of them, and then transitioned to scouts.
Okay.
When we see Mr. Yo, his barrack is so late, it's never going to be Man-at-Arms. He's going to transition into a stable right away, and that could be extremely tricky because he needs to buy himself the time to get to the scout numbers against the incoming Man-at-Arm aggression. And that's why we saw in the past that scout opening on Arabia was not that popular anymore, because the Man-at-Arm aggression was just so lethal toward the scout opening. And now Mr. Yo capable of walling himself up very efficiently. I like what he's doing there. And Nikov is, trying to find a good utilization for those incoming Man-at-Arms.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't the first time we've seen someone wall on this map. I believe there were older versions of it where the walls weren't really possible around the fish.
Don't remember.
Okay, yeah, it's all good. And this version has made it possible, and Yo just wanted time to be able to mass the scouts that are cheaper and also have the forging upgrade. He certainly bought himself that time. There's been no crucial mistakes with forgetting houses or anything of the sort. So he's fine, and I think Nikov is actually a little frustrated with his position right now because he is on the other side of his reinforcements, because he's going to want to bring a spearman, a couple archers perhaps. I'm not sure attacking the far side of that gate of this whole shorefish area is necessarily the best for him.
For sure not. Usually you want to have your units applying the pressure closest to your reinforcements, right? So that way you don't run into the risk that your opponent cuts those reinforcements off. And I like what Mr. Yo is doing right now. He's just ignoring the entire situation, repairing the house, which is being attacked by the units from Nikov. With one villager, he's fine. And he just uses those scouts in the front. However, Nikov kind of anticipates that one as well. And has 2 spearmen here defending, and there is not going to be any damage dealt by Mr. Yo.
I watched Yo watch Hera's game yesterday on this map, and he just stood there, and it was almost like his jaw wasn't dropped, but he was mesmerized. And I think, do you ever watch a game and just get jealous of a player's position? Like watch someone's micro, or like watch someone play Mongols on a map with a lot of hunt, and you're like, ooh, that looks so satisfying. Yeah. I think that's what it was for Yo. And so ever since then, I'm sure he's been like, let's go, lots of scouts on this map, baby. And Yo did an interesting thing here. He didn't build a mining camp, if I'm not wrong. He's walking back and forth to get stone. And he just wants enough stone so he can place 2 towers.
Interesting.
Because he knows archers are going to come in here. So here's the scout engagement. The scouts will win this. It's just a matter of how efficient the fight is for Nikov. And that's about as good as it'll get for Nikov.
Absolutely. Very good pullback by Mr. Yo as well, taking away the harmed scouts, and therefore was able to clean the 3-4 man-at-arms up completely without really using a scout here. And tower goes up now as well, and there's just no way Nikov can stop that because he doesn't have the firepower right now.
Yep, absolutely. And you see an attempt here from Nikov to get some value. Yo, realizing 2 of his scouts are weak, doesn't want to take the fight. I think he could win the fight, but it wouldn't be efficient. And now Nikov finds himself in the position that we've seen a lot of players when they're going man-at-arms into archers and spearmen, and they're just like, I can't do damage anywhere. And they have to fall back or find some new area to attack.
Yeah, and that is kind of frustrating for Nikov as well, right? Because he was... he's calculating with the damage he's doing, and he's just not able to find it. And now the biggest issue, if you're able, or if you're against the scout player, he has the mobility. He has the tools to choose whatever he wants to, right? Because he's just defended so well at home. Nikov, the good thing for him is he forced the stonewalls by Mr. Yo, and therefore Mr. Yo doesn't have the access to the second tower. He's kind of lacking the stone. So that is kind of a little bit of a win there, but there is still a gap here. So Mr. Yo has to be really on point here to not slip it off.
Ooh, yeah, that's true. Nikov has to be on point here, and he does react, and this is where Wheelbarrow comes in clutch. Not bad. Nikov gets away. He's got a couple spears at home, and Nikov's through. What a mistake from Yo.
Yeah, this can potentially be very, very painful for Mr. Yo here. 1 villager went down for Nikov. Mr. Yo was able to secure all his villagers, but of course there was some idle time cost. And, you know, the efficiency on those villagers is not the highest here. There are only 2 shorefish they are gathering the food from, and yeah, there's like stacking up against each other here.
And Nikov's on the other side too, so he's waiting around those shorefish, wondering if Yo's ever going to move out there. I mean, Yo's in kind of a dangerous position currently because he's going to need to expand to other shorefish, and the 3 shorefish he can't take to the right of his mill now because you let the units in. But here he is. He goes in for a kill. He's going to get 1 at least. And I think Yo's going to stick around for the next one. There's no way he cares. And yeah, boom. Saves all of his scouts. Yo's now killed 3 eco in this game. And while both players might have similar castle age times, Yo has the better of the engagements thus far.
Absolutely. And with the 3 villagers going down, you could kind of make the argument that he equalized the wheelbarrow, which Nikov has from the get-go at Feudal Age. So that is a nice win for him, and both players are really clicking the transactions on the market, and it looks like Mr. Yo won that battle because he was a little bit quicker here. And also, if you're looking at his resources, looks like he will be up to cast age just a little bit faster here.
I'm concerned that Yo's not going to have food to make knights, though, Jordan. Like, he really is going to need the shorefish. Nikov moving this way actually gives him a bit of an opportunity to do that eventually. Yeah. But, so maybe Nikov trying to do too much here. But Nikov's up. By the way, that's 2 straight games that Nikov has sold all of his stone to go up. I casted a lot of Nikov this week. Wouldn't surprise me if we see it every single game that he plays in this series. Yeah,
Nikov is a player who loves to attack very, very quick, right? And therefore, selling stone on the market most of the time makes sense here. And we also just witnessed the beautiful bonus of the Magyar civilization. Able to slap down a wolf with just 1 attack.
Yep, beautiful. Nikov trying to move away now, back to the shorefish, probably realizing that Yo maybe has found gold elsewhere. Yo hasn't actually found gold elsewhere, though, and Nikov sees the bills. He's got a lot of weak units, but he still could get some good value as Yo, oh man, drops another tower there. Again, Yo's got 120 food.
Yep.
and 100 gold. Like, he is not going to be in a position to make a lot of knights against Nikov here.
No chance. He only has 4 in food right now as well, right?
Yep.
So that is a complete disaster for him. And the fact that there was a gap between the wood and the stone walls he was placing just caused so much havoc to his food income. And therefore his entire strategy, which was based on spamming the entire map with mobile units like light calves and also the knights, is completely shredded now. And Nikov on the other side, he's enjoying life right now. He's getting so much food right now, which is, you know, also shown on the resources collected tab here. Such a huge advantage for Nikov, and he will tech into the crossbow and pikeman and building a monastery as well. So he has all the tools to defend incoming knight raids.
So Yo's just going to boom and play defense, it seems, because if you can't make army, that's your next best option. He's got the siege workshop now. Nikov will see this, and it will be another game where Yo tries to defend with siege and drops town centers earlier. Nikov with his aggression. Yo will find a pick off there. Very well played there from Yo. Those 3 scouts have more attack than they did before. And I'm curious to see if Nikov is going to maybe buy some stone and drop a second town center. I'm also curious if Nikov will ever find the eco in the south. I feel like players taking the corner shorefish is something that's going to happen more and more over the next couple days of NAC up until the conclusion, because it is a very sneaky area you can expand to. And this is a tunnel vision map. A lot of players are simply just rushing right to your base, right through the middle, and they don't really scout like they do on other maps.
Absolutely. And this is something Mr. Yo is kind of banking on as well. Because on this map, as you already said, both players usually go for a lot of aggression, and they usually fight heavily for the shorefish in the middle. And Nikov, I'm not sure if he has ever faced that position in his practice games. And, you know, that's kind of also where Mr. Yo, that's his biggest strength, right? Like, making it complicated, making it chaotic, and hoping for his opponent to slip off there. Because if it's about direct execution most of the time, Mr. Yo is not always 100% on point there. And therefore we see those crazy games, right? But so far it looks like he's still having a good time, because right now 44 villages for him, 41 for Nikov. Obviously with handcard in, it's a good boost for the Vikings economy, but Mr. Yo does everything he can right now to defend, to grow his economy, and he's been pretty successful doing so.
Do you start to switch into farms right now if you're both players? Think about Horse Collar, or is there still so much shorefish on the map, and you know, it comes in so quickly that you just kind of forget about farming?
I'm someone who always forgets about farming, but I have had the experience that this is not a good thing. Like, you need to add the farms, and like you don't want to wait too long. Like, I think around this time right now would be a good time to get going with the farms as well. Especially if you feel like, okay, the shorefish has been completely depleted for your side, and that is definitely the case for Mr. Yo. Nikov on the other side, he's building a TC on a completely great area with a lot of shorefish. So for him, you could make the argument, you know, delay it a little bit more longer. But yeah, Mr. Yo, he will have to start adding farms pretty soon.
You know, this is similar in some ways to the first game, for those that missed it. Nikov the aggressor, Nikov seemingly in a better position. But the difference is Nikov's army isn't snowballing a push against town centers. Nikov's army isn't really finding significant economy picks.
No.
So it feels like with Yo 15 on food, Yo soon going to make a castle, that this game's going to go on for a while, Jordan. And ever since the Vikings lost Thumb Ring, they just fell off a cliff competitively for me if there's no water on the map.
It is such a huge thing as well, right? Like, Vikings was one of the main picks on standard like random maps, even if there was no water involved, because their economy is just so strong. And with Thumb Ring, Arbalest, they have just so much strength, like the power spike they had with the faster privilege, right? And nice mic with both players. Mr. Yo anticipated the monk going the direction. They're dancing with each other, but Nikov, he's a good dancer, I heard.
And Mangonel on the way. Yeah, he had some great dances in game number 1. And where are you going, Monk?
At this point,
he
he's just provoking it, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, is that why? Oh, man, that would have been sick.
Okay.
Not sure if it would have been worth the trade necessarily, but I can kind of see what Nikov was maybe thinking. Resources collected still favorable for Nikov, but still 4-1 with the Eco KD. And this is what Nikov's known for, splitting armies, but he's clearly looking elsewhere at the moment. And he is to back away. Over on that side, he lost his Mangonel.
And that's the thing. Mr. Yo, he is very good with the Mangonel micro. If we would compare, I would say Nikov is just a little bit better than him. However, if you're the aggressor, it is so tough to keep all the focus on everything, right? And if you have Mangonels and crossbows, they like very, yeah, they're like very, very, how would you say, like risky to die.
Okay, okay,
right?
yeah.
And, therefore, it's hard to pay attention to everything.
Oh man, this could be pretty eventful here, Jordan. Both have enough stone for a castle. I think Nikov wants to castle where his siege push is. I think Yo wants to defend in that area. Here come the villagers. Yo's also got a lot right there. And oh, Yo's going to castle behind it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so Yo doesn't have the siege, I guess.
Yeah.
And Nikov ends up getting his castle up. I prefer Nikov's position here.
Absolutely. He's getting more and more ground with that push. And also we see Imperial incoming for Nikov. He queued it behind the villages though, because I mean, he had 800 resources of both, so it must be queued up behind the villager.
Yeah, that's so good. He's got it now on the way up. It's not going to be this TC. I love this move from Yo, because he can still defend with siege in all these other areas, and Imp means that he will have the castle lead.
Yeah.
And Nikov is very much like a Vil spammer, an army spammer, and if the resources aren't there for Imp, then he's not going to go out. Oh, you're saying Nikov had the resources for
I'm super confused right now. Like, Nikov had so many resources.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention, to be completely honest with you. I mean, not to his resources. Obviously, I was paying attention to the game.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Yo initially.
Yeah.
Yeah, so well, I mean, he's got 3 monks in queue.
Yep.
He's got 6 villagers, so quick maths here. That's not the resources for Imp. That's for sure.
That's 100% not. I don't know what I saw there. I'm kind of blind. But yeah, Mr.
That's
Yo.
the MTC. That is the Imperial HTC for Yo. Oh, it's Wheelbear! Oh, you really blame me, Jordan.
We have a good casting today. Oh, Nikov is him, where's him? Click. Oh, this is the MTC. It's the Wheelbar TC.
I mean, I saw the little glowy thing, so I just assumed.
I didn't even see the glowing.
Yeah, there's a little glowing, I don't know how to describe this, effect.
Oh, and this indicates that there's something research.
There's a research coming in that building. Yes, that happens on every single building when you're casting.
Okay, but you don't see it in-game, right?
No. However, Jordan, you should have played the beta, bro, because you could see it on your enemies when you were playing the beta this game. And oh, yeah, I was running around with knights just waiting for that TC to light up. And I still lost.
Level. I love it. Okay, now I thought like you see it while playing as well. And
no. Yeah.
Wow, I'm questioning my abilities.
Yeah, no worries, Jordan. Well, Nikov still hasn't clicked up to Imp. The Vil difference isn't really that crazy. Yo's going to have a Treb. And Magyar late game is one of the best late games we have, right? Not necessarily for their skirms, but their Cav Archers and their Hussars are ridiculous.
Absolutely. Like, Magyars, I would claim, is one of the strongest RM civs if we're talking about limited amount of gold, right? Because their Hussars, the Magyar Hussars, are so extremely strong. They're also cheaper, and the CA with the extra damage and extra range are just so strong. And in general, Hussar and the CA combination is one of the strongest combinations you can have in the game.
Absolutely. It does take time, and while Yo had some good Mangonel engagements there, Nikov responds, and a little bit of stress for Yo currently. Nikov's on the way to Imp. Both of his castles are trebable, if you could say that, but it's going to give him time to decide on what he wants to go for. Vikings don't get Halberdier. Viking infantry does get more HP, so you can continue with that, but I'm a little unconvinced in the situation here for Nikov. It looks like he's just going to make pikemen. He's just going to make archers. I guess that's you just got to continue doing what you've already upgraded then, right?
Absolutely. I mean, with Vikings, you have access to chieftains, and that gives you extra damage attack against cavalry units. That's very handy against Magyars. However,
it is.
Yeah. However, you will never get close to the army if you allow the Magyar player to really get to the 200 population. So the idea of the Viking player must be right now apply the pressure as fast as possible and deny the income for Mr. because if Magyars have their game, then it's just going to be impossible for the Vikings player, because Vikings they don't really excel in later of Imperial Age stages, right? Because the tech tree is kind of limited. So we see Nikov doing exactly that, but Mr. so far has been in a good position, I would say, defending with a cast on the top, trapping that one down, and he will have stone for another one in the south side very, very soon.
I mean, I so badly want to see champion work here. We have supplies on the way for Nikov.
It's going to happen.
He's going for longsword. He will need two-handed swordsman. He will then need champion. He will then need all these armor upgrades. And in the meanwhile, we have cav archers coming in for Yo. So I'm worried for Nikov. I feel like he's asking himself the same questions. What can I do with Vikings on land in 2023? But there's not a lot of CA out. And there's not even a lot of upgrades for Yo. Recurve bow is expensive. And, I mean, geez, even Bracer isn't in yet for Yo, so possibly Nikov has the time here.
It is interesting. Mr. Yo was up to Imperial Age so much quicker compared to Nikov. However, if we take a look at his economy, it looks like he's struggling heavily to get the resources up, even though he has 110 villagers. So it looks like his efficiency has not been the best here. Obviously running around a lot with the villagers. And yeah, his CA numbers are at 7 right now. So he definitely needs to have around 30, 35 to be really comfortable against anything the Viking player can throw at him. And we see the 7 CA are microed by Mr. Yo, so he's not going to take any hits from the pikemen. And the the longswords are wrecking some havoc here on the south side.
I think like Yo's kind of cramped here, so if you could go champion skirm, I think you have a window here.
For sure.
Yeah.
Also looking at the population,
it's
170
insane.
for Nikov and only 140 for Mr. Yo. So if Nikov wants to make this happen here, it has to happen in the next 3-4 minutes.
Absolutely. And, you know, Nikov, he's got good vision as well. If you look at his point of view briefly, he's got like this line of vision across the middle, so he'll know if Yo ever escapes. Bracer comes in at around the same time. That should tell you how good Nikov's economy has been in comparison. And another castle there for Nikov. But I think if you're Nikov, you see the cav archers and you're worried about the potential of the Magyars. It's a scary, scary sight.
Absolutely. That's the only unit which you don't want to face as the Viking player against Magyars. And now the castle attempt from Nikov most likely will be denied. There are
delete?
You have to delete.
Just delete it, yeah, get some stone back.
Yeah, that's exactly what Nikov is doing. And right now he has spent a lot of stone on the castle, however, so he doesn't have stone for another one.
No conscription for him then, right?
Exactly. The resources in theory look good for him. I mean, he has 138 villagers, and as the Viking player usually don't need that many. 120 is the ideal number, I would claim. But yeah, right now it's just rough. Like, the population lead is definitely in favor of Nikov. However, it feels like he doesn't have the pushing tools right now. Doesn't have a castle anymore. So he doesn't really have the access to the trebuchet. I mean, there is a building on the south side, but I'm not sure if it's completed already.
Yeah, I mean, recurve bow is in, +1 attack and +1 range to the cav archers.
Yep.
This is the upgrade that you really had to fear if you're Nikov. You've just got generic skirmishers of your Vikings. Again, you know, you're an infantry civilization, can just infantry cut it. You still can't afford champion, but I'm loving how Yo's playing this. Yo's been very methodical. There was a period in time where we were concerned that he wasn't really making a lot, but I felt like he just didn't want to take any risks with his army, and he's been slowly just picking off villagers here or there. He's preserved his Treb numbers too. We even see some Magyar Hussar being created right now for Yo. I'm not sure if he got the unique tech, but if you get the unique tech, they only cost food, and those things are great against skirms. They also have a bonus against siege. So just an exciting thing for me to see, Jordan, because Magyars aren't seen as frequently in competitive AoE2 these days, or at least in, like, you know, but just due to their eco. But man, oh man, if you get to this stage, there's not much many civs can do.
I love Magyars. They're very similar to Huns, and I used to play Huns a lot in the past, right?
Yep.
So They're just an extremely fast, mobile civilization, and yeah, the recurved bow CA is just such a big threat for any unit out there. And you know, the economy or the population for Nikov has plummeted heavily to 150 population. He was able to keep it up again to 170. Ballistics incoming very soon, getting the last armor upgrade for the ranged units. Ooh. Forging incoming as well. But that cast is going to be sieged very soon by Mr. Yo, and I'm not sure if Nikov has the tools right now to defend everything. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of areas that Nikov has to defend, but Nikov will actually defend there. He also had pikemen in protection of his trebuchets, as Yo was hoping to go in with the hussars to snipe them. So, I mean, this game is just 10 times harder from here on out for Nikov, guys. Yo's even got 3 relics behind this, so I give Yo a big advantage, especially with heavy cav archer coming in. But Nikov's really done a good job here. He's got the treb lead in that little treb engagement, and they're even quick walling and keeping away those Magyar hussars. So here comes the most awkward AI-looking raiding army we've seen at NAC4. Crossbow skirmishers, pikemen, a berserk, two-handed swordsman. we have everything right there. And that is kind of the problem for the mobility topic, right? Like, Mr. Yo had 5 CA there, and Nikov used around 25 units to defend against that. So that means on the other side, he will not have the army population to defend here. And now we see a lot of villagers, you know, being killed. They are forced to run away here. And Mr. Yo is just dictating the pace of the game. Elite Magyar Hussar. Oh my god. Is a tiger about to kill that? This is so funny. The civilization that has a bonus that their villagers one-shot tigers could lose a cav archer to a tiger there in the north. We'll check back on that in a second. Where the castle has gone down here for Yo, and oh, are you kidding? It's Nikov! You know what happened? You remember earlier in the game, the lion or jaguar was killed by the villager. Yeah, yeah. And now the sibling of that jaguar was saying, no, I will have to revenge my brother. I like that, Jordan. I like that. Yeah. I mean, pretty rude of Nikov to not realize that there was a random tiger attacking a cav archer in the north and wait for us. Yep. But, you know, we'll cut him some slack because he didn't know about it. It was a good game. The series now is 1-1. There were some positive times there for Nikov early on, Dave. Dave, I'm so sorry. Jordan. Easy, easy. Jordan. I'm the best at confusing names. Like, I do it every time. Okay. All right, all right. But, you know, it really felt like Yo just had faith in his civilization there. Absolutely. And it was interesting to me because the approach he went for is something I have not seen at this stage. Because usually it is so much army, army, army in Feudal Age, and when you reach Castle Age, it's even more army, army, army. Absolutely. What did he do? He only had 4 villagers on food upon reaching Castle Age. He just pulls back, plays completely defensive, adds to a TCs, adds a siege workshop, which is a perfect, you know, building against pikemen crossbows, and just defends, builds up his economy. Once he was strong enough, goes up to Imperial Age, places castles on both sides, and take it from there. And it was just strategically such a masterpiece to witness. I think Nikov wanted to play Japanese on that map. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I would say 100%. Yeah, because the Vikings pick did not impress me at all. There's so many reasons why you shouldn't do it from my perspective, though maybe I'm a little judgy, and that can be the case at times. But also, we saw Japanese played on Moras yesterday. It was very effective. Yeah. All the bonuses play out nicely there. So that was a good snipe there from Yo. Possibly a Civ mismatch due to the fact that he had sniped the Japanese. Nikov will get to choose what we see next, and we haven't seen any of the home maps yet for Nikov. He's got Frigid Lake, Golden Swamp, and Rocky Forest. And then if he wishes to, he could also select the maps from Yo on the other side. And it is going to be Golden Swamp here, Jordan. Ooh. Mongols for Nikov, Byzantines for Yo. I know Nikov played Mongols before, but I'm not really sure if Yo has played Byzantines on Golden Swamp at NAC4. I'm thinking. I remember that they played against each other in group stage, and Nikov had Mongols, and Mr. Yo was Vikings. Vikings, yes. On Golden Swamp. So, and the way Mr. Yo played was full aggression on land, right? So with Byzantines, you can do something like that as well, as they have very cheap trash units, and that kind of invites for early aggression as well. However, Mongols might not be the best civilization to apply aggression to because they're just so quick. And, you know, Byzantines, they're one of the strongest civs on these maps because they have the strongest fire galleys on in Feudal Age or in general in the game, and therefore you're capable of winning water most of the time, as long as your opponent doesn't commit heavily onto the galleys, because galleys are stronger against the fire galleys once you reach a certain amount of mass. And yeah, let's see how that one shapes out with Mongols. You should be up faster than Byzantines.
Is it standard to have 3 on wood for a dock start here? With I guess you are the Mongols, but to me it doesn't look like Nikov's going to be able to afford even a fishing ship here.
It's all about getting one fishing boat out and then go up to Feudal Age. So
can you get the fishing boat out while you're on the way to Feudal here? Is that maybe what he's planning on?
He will do it no, he has to be there after. Yeah,
okay.
Has to be after. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, no,
I would have. I was like, oh no, he will do it before that. And I was like, the food is increasing heavily.
I mean, this is insane, right? We're seeing the lumber camp and the dock used as the 2 Dark Age buildings for Nikov to click up. For Yo, this is more of the standard approach. Make 2 or 3 fishing ships and then click up. Obviously, he doesn't have the hunt bonus in the Mongols. But, I mean, Yo getting housed here as well. He's up against this crazy fast uptime from Nikov. He's going to have his work cut out for him here in Feudal Age.
Yeah, this is very, very rough. You know, for Byzantines, what we usually see as well is that they add a second dock in the front there, close to their opponent, just to apply the pressure even faster.
Yeah.
And Nikov, it feels like he wants to do something with that villager. I don't think it's going to be another dock here.
It's going to be another dock, yep. It's all right, Jordan. I have a lot I can teach you.
It's going to be another dock. It's going to be another dock. Oh.
Okay, but tell me, did you say you didn't think it was going to be another dock because you saw the Vil walking a bit further away from the shoreline?
I feel like he's not going to be able to afford to
production.
Build. Yeah, there's just no way.
His build is insane. He had like 5 villagers on stragglers a second ago, and then he brought them all back to the Rhino here. It's like Nili just wants... Nili, what's wrong with me today? What is wrong with me today? It's like Nikov, sorry. Just wants to get the first 2 galleys out.
Yeah.
Fire galleys out, and then almost stop production from there.
Yeah, this kind of how it looks like. And also extremely interesting that he opts to go for fire galleys instead of galleys.
Yeah.
So fire galleys are obviously a little bit... worse if it's about killing fishing boats, and they also struggle against the fire galleys of the Byzantines, and Nikov spots that.
What a find there. Now the villagers do split off on the separate sides of the wood line, so I think Nikov only saw one of them. But Nikov had just killed Yo's scout. He also...
I think he will react to that one.
Nikov also remembers what Yo tried to do to him in their group stage match. I believe that was on day 1. And look at this. We have 4 villagers from Nikov here to stop Yo from making the dock. And there's a fire galley coming as well. What in the world? I'm not sure I love the response from Nikov, but I think he thought it was going to be a barracks or an archer range instead of the sneaky dock there from Yo.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue for Nikov right now, because his economy, it is so fragile.
Yeah.
And usually it works if you're just able to play your game like standard, that's fine. But if you're forced to pull away 4 villagers, that has an impact on your setup overall. So let's see how Nikov is going to be able to adapt to the situation. And yeah, right now okay, I like that one. I was a little bit distracted right now.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
But yeah, Mr. Yo obviously now walling up a little bit, trying to compete for the water. Didn't lose the fishing boats as fast as I was expecting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like what Yo did. He placed the second dock at home when he was going to be found on that shoreline initially. So great job. Smooth and easy from Yo. I still think he's fine. I even like the wall off between the wood lines on the left side. And there he is looking for Nikov's fishing ships. I am as well. I believe they're a bit further away from here. Yeah, they are there. Nikov with 4 fires currently, and a demo and a fire on the way. And then it is 2 fires for Yo with a demo and a fire on the way. So still could swing either way, but Nikov has definitely benefited from his fast uptime here. The crazy thing, though, to me, is that neither player has their scout here, Jordan. So there's a lot of room for some sneaking if you wish to.
Absolutely, and that's something Nikov always have to keep in his mind, right? He sees the 2 docks from Mysterio, yes. However, he also saw that there were villagers going forward as well. So he always has to keep in mind there could be aggression incoming from my opponent, and therefore it has to be important how he's balancing things. And I'm wondering if he either will wall up fast or if he places out an outpost as well, just to get the extra vision and extra safety.
Look at the Town Watch, Jordan. Speaking of vision, one of your favorite technologies.
Oh, I love it.
You were like one of the true OGs of the Town Watch. Like, you were the early Town Watch adopter all the way back. I remember watching you and Viper play back in 2015, and I was like, why Town Watch, right? And back then, I didn't understand how important the vision was, especially against players like Yo, and oh god, it sucks to be that villager. Nice demo lands there from Yo. In the end, though, Nikov still with the better micro, still with the better position on water.
Also has way more fire galleys as well, right? So Mr. Yo, he has a very tough time to compete for the water due to the way slower uptime. And now the villagers, they were repairing, but there's just too many fire galleys. And Nikov is in a good position because he's just killing everything Mr. Yo has invested into fighting for the water now. And this is looking very rough.
There's a demo on the way here, I'm sure. There's got to be a demo. I was not talking about Nikov's demo, though, as he uses it, and it's actually pretty ineffective.
Like, I thought that villager would go down, but it survived with like 3 HP, so that was very fortunate for Mr. Yo. However, what is not so fortunate is that he lost the water control completely.
Yep.
He still has a unit in the dock garrison here, and the main question is how much does he want to continue to commit here?
Yeah, Nikov's collected more resources. Yo, for a second there, had 1 on food, so I imagine he maybe just transferred over to berries just like Nikov did. I'm sure we'll see some farming from both, and I'm sure for the second straight game we're going to see Nikov sell his stone and buy some food, because that is a very Nikov thing. Yeah. He just wants to win every game in this series before it gets to mid-castle against Yo.
Absolutely. It is so important to him to have the presence, and he loves the timing attacks, and that's where the market comes in very handy. So we see a good expansion on the farms for Mr. Yo, and that is obviously the only thing he can do in order to compete for the castle time. If we take a look at the fishing boats, there are 3 right now for Nikov, none for Mr. Yo, not too surprising here. Yeah, walling up now for Nikov as well, building the market, as you already mentioned, and it's just a matter of time until we transition to cast stage here.
Yep, this is a perfect game for Nikov so far, I think.
Absolutely.
It's been really good. Stopped Yo's initial sneaky dock, has had the better of the engagements so far. Resources collected is actually very close, but it's the food and the gold count you're really looking towards here. Nikov's even looking to, you can see, food collected. Ooh. Again, it's still very close,
it
right?
Is extremely
Whoa,
close.
it hit the same amount of resources there for a second.
Super close. And that is also something I personally love so much, the indicator of the resources collected, because it just gives you so much information, and it's just so important to see, especially if you're going for different strategies, different openings, to see how are these openings matching against each other. And usually the Civ or the strategy which gives you more resources most of the time is the better one.
You know what's not tracked here, which I'd be interested on, is the repair investment. Because there has been a lot of repairing on Yo's part on ships. But also, he's been repairing that dock for the last 5 minutes. And that's not cheap. So that's going to add up to a couple hundred wood, I'd say.
For sure.
And that's a couple hundred wood that can't, be used for other things. Nikov, this is kind of funny. He's got a barracks there. He's placing it where Yo can see that. That's a bait right there.
Do you think he does that because he wants to bait, or do you think he does it because he expects Mr. Yo to think it is a bait and he then actually goes for the aggression?
Baiting the bait on the bait.
Yeah, exactly.
Is
it too wild?
Honestly, I think Nikov genuinely just wants to go land. Like, I think in Nikov's mind, he's not actually being that fancy with it. Not as fancy as his micro here anyways. He's got a lot of weak fires. Nikov needs to be careful. He needs to make sure he repairs these ships. But, you know, I will say this. If it was Yo in Nikov's shoes making that barracks, that'd be 100% mind games. But that, like, we should be criticizing this, I think, because you're giving Yo an idea that the army's going to come forward.
Exactly. I mean, and that's also the reason why Mr. Yo is walling up right now, because he knows, oh, okay, my opponent is up to Castle Age right now. And, you know, Mongols in Castle Age, they have access to a beautiful unit, which is pretty good at raiding, pretty good at killing buildings as well. And is
Mangadai?
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking about a Mangonel, but, you know, Mangadai is good as well.
Okay, okay. Well, I think, you know, you were probably alluding to the Steppe Lancer.
No.
Which, oh, you weren't?
No.
I thought
I
you
was
were.
thinking about the Mangonel.
Oh, okay. I thought you were, well, I saw him making a stable, so I assumed Steppe Lancer. But I'll tell you what, man, Nikov's going to lose all his ships here.
Absolutely.
That's a big boom there from Yo. Yo now knows that land pressure is going to be coming in. Yo has resources to be able to go for War Galley and get back on water. Yep. And I really am not a fan of how Nikov has let this lead slip here. I think sticking to the basics and repairing his ships, continuing to make ships, or at the very least just not showing your hand with the Steppe Lancer edition would have been a better play for him.
Yeah, especially you have to know that the Byzantine player has the vision, right, with Town Patrol and Castle Age, Town Watch and Feudal Age. So it is just a risky thing, and at this point I'm thinking there's just no way he didn't think about that.
Yeah, I think he had to have thought about it afterwards, maybe.
I still hold on to my
mind game?
three-time mind game.
Yeah.
I have to.
Well, if he would have just added the barracks, and then Yo would have walled, and then Yo would have added the barracks and the monastery,
yeah,
I would be loving it.
Absolutely.
But he did add the stable. He did add 2 Steppe Lancers. It's not the most expensive thing to invest into, but in return, he's losing water to the Byzantines, which have the water, the better water tech tree, and then on a map where there's all that gold in the center.
Yeah, that is not good at all. I mean, with Mongols, these two civilizations are very interesting, right? Because Byzantines, they can operate without access onto gold in a good way because their trash units are so cheap.
Yep.
But Mongols, there's just no way that they can play trash units. They are dependent on the gold. They need their gold for the siege, for the Mangadai. And without Mangadai and siege, Mongols is nothing special.
And you know, I come at this comment with experience, Jordan, because I do this a lot sometimes where I've done most of the right things to start a game. I've had maybe solid strategy. But then you think, oh, I've got to one-up him even more. I've got to do even more. And you end up doing something that's so fancy and extra that it actually hurts you, right? And so in this instance, it clearly has not benefited Nikov in any way, shape, or form to add the barracks, add the stable, particularly where he added it. And Nikov now trying to fight back on water here. And it's just not really looking too good for him right now as Yo just scouts his entire base with a scout. Gets to see exactly what Nikov's up to, and I'm sure Yo is feeling very good about his life right now. Absolutely. Being, you know, tied 1-1 in this crazy best-of-7, breaking through the walls with the fire ships.
Absolutely. And the fact that Nikov actually went for another dock, he's building a second one as well, it's like very questionable right now.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's something you want to go into. I understand the logic behind that, right? Because he wants to compete for the water. The water is just so crucial on this map. But I think it would be better to do it in an Imperial Age with a castle and some docks there. So, because when you invest into the docks right now, you will have way less wood to expand your economy, and you kind of play into the hands of Mr. Yo because he has the Navy unit.
Oh, big demo
already. Yeah, I thought it would kill everything, but you could claim that they're dead. Like they're so low in
Well,
HP.
just wait until a shirtless guy with the hammer comes around and starts bopping it a couple times. It won't be dead any longer, yeah.
That's kind of the most frustrating thing, right? If you damage a unit of your opponent to, let's say, 99% down, and then a monk or a villager just heals them up again.
Yeah. Well, Yo's got 2 relics. He's got the same amount of villagers as Nikov. He is behind on the amount he has on food, which means that Nikov could probably fall into a castle and getting back on water with better imp time, possibly.
Yep.
But remember, it is cheaper for the Byzantines to go to the Imperial Age, so I would maybe lean towards imp time as being a little bit closer. Yo rarely lets these types of positions slip, I'll just say that, because his decision-making is so consistent. It's more so a situation of if players these days will be able to pressure Yo enough where he can't get to the proper spots in the game.
Absolutely. And Nikov, man, he has a mission. He wants to get onto the water no matter what. And I love the fact that Mr. Yo has added the war galleys as well, so he will be able to get a little bit of range as well, because with the fire galley you're only limited to one range. Now with the war galleys not having any fletching though, so that is a little bit of a bummer for him there. But yeah, he has good control there and he will try to maintain that.
Yeah, something else here that Byzantines can do a pretty good job of is, man, Nikov is really trying every single area on this shore. You know, this reminds me of your game against Vinchester the other day. When you were Britons, you just kept trying to get docks up.
Oh man, in the harbors.
Oh man.
God. Yeah, that was so frustrating. Like, there were traps there were harbors there, there was a castle there, and it was just like, he's so annoying right now, right?
I mean, Nikov has had docks in the middle island. He's had docks on the front of his base. Both sides of his base now, kind of around the original spot where Yo tried to make a dock. Are you putting pants on right now?
It's so cold.
And just to be clear, Jordan had shorts on. He was not sitting here without pants.
It's so cold.
It's kind of funny because before we started this, Jordan and I were talking, and I was like, man, I should have brought shorts because I didn't bring any shorts to Germany, and it's freaking, you know, it's cold outside. But it is warm in the gamer house. So apparently not for you. I don't know.
I was like, yeah, I have a advantage over you because I can just sit here and chill. But I felt like starting from game 2, it has become a little bit cool here. It's like, whoa, I need my pants.
I wish we had like I had a GoPro in my head because we're talking about the game and Jordan's just putting on pants. So okay.
Yeah, I was waiting for someone to pass because I felt like, okay, I don't want to leave for 30 seconds. And then finally Vinchester comes and I'm tabbing him like, he was confused, like, what do you want? Can you give me my pants? You should have seen his facial expression.
Well, anyways, Nikov is on the way to the Imperial Age now. He is a minute behind to the Imperial Age, unfortunately. And this is probably like the 12th time he's tried to dock on this map. He cannot seem to keep his docks up. And, we're going to probably have a middle castle from Yo. Yo's got a bigger navy. I'm struggling to see a way back for Nikov right now.
Absolutely. And with the Byzantines also cheaper Imperial Age time, it just comes in so handy for those kind of maps. He's roughly 1 minute and 10 seconds ahead here. Has the presence on the water. He has 23 army units already, while his opponent only 6. So it is just very tough in those kind of situations to come back on water, especially against the Byzantine player. He has stone. Nikov has stone for a castle. The question is not if it comes up. The question is where it comes up.
Yep, absolutely. It's going to be the front of his base. If Yo sees that, that is just a target for him to treb down. But Yo doesn't have his own castle yet. So the castle timing won't be perfect for Yo. And Nikov just calls the GG. I will say this is just that one map. It doesn't seem like land really ever works. It's just always tough. Like 3 TCs into water control, into imp. And that's why Nikov calls it. But we just witnessed Nikov go from a great position to throwing it all away. He had the Navy lead. He didn't repair his ships. He showed his opponent the barracks in the stable. And, I hope he doesn't think about it too much, right? You have to have very short memory here. If you let that, affect your performance in the next games, it can compound and get even worse. But that's going to be a painful one for Nikov to look back on eventually.
And it's also his go-to home map, right? He has been selecting that specific map for the entirety of the group stage phase. So that's the map where he feels the most comfortable in. And he also won against Mr. Yo on Golden Swamp in the group stage. So you know, having that now considered as a loss is definitely something he will, you know, not be too happy about. But he has to keep the focus because remember, guys, this is not a best of 5 anymore. This is a best of 7, and a best of 7, anything can happen. Even if you're down 3-1, there's still potential to come back here.
And in their best of 5 on day 1, I believe it was day 1. We've been here a long time now. Anyways, on one of the days that they played, Yo was up 2-0.
Yep.
Nikov then tied it 2-2 before it went to the 5th game. So,
absolutely.
I mean, Nikov's only behind by 1 game now. Logically, we could see him react quite nicely here. But that is 2 straight wins for Yo. And Yo, again, showing how consistent he can be and how if you don't punish him early, he's going to get you. Nikov has Frigid Lake, Rocky Forest to choose from his own home maps. But again, if you wish to in this event, you can also just go for your opponent's home maps and switch it up a little bit here. But
do you find it interesting that Gujaras and Hindustanis are picked so late? Because they were considered like the best civilizations a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
They, like, especially Hindustanis, they have received a nerf very recently. And now we see them, you know, picked, but they're losing most of the time.
I think the fact that he could get them so late is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good. And also, I don't know if there's 100% suited for the maps. No one's going to believe me. All the viewers are going to say, sure. But I was going to say, I think Gurjaras is really good on Rocky Forest. Not sure about Hindustanis. I haven't obviously practiced. Yeah. So, you know, Nikov, I think, had done Gurjaras on Rocky Forest in the past as well. He's going to go for it here. And it can match up very nicely against the Franks. Franks, however, Jordan, we've even played some games with the Franks on Rocky Forest, right?
That's 6 Franks.
There's lots of lots of berries on this map. Plus, the cheap castles can just be so useful in the middle area.
Absolutely. We saw Franks being used yesterday by ACCM, and Yo played against that with his Japanese. And I guess Mr. Yo liked the way ACCM played it because it was really, really rough. And you know, I thought all the time ACCM was winning. Monsieur was able to pull it back, but oh boy, he had to work very, very hard for it. So Franks, especially due to the fact that there are extra berries on this map, helps so much. And as you mentioned, the castles, the cheaper castles, are so helpful to get the map control in the middle, where all the extra stone, gold, and a lot of deer are as well. So it's a very handy position to have. And also they get the free horse color upgrade as well. So it just comes in very handy. It's a very, very consistent civ to play.
Yeah, and you know, while the Gurjaras do have the camels, I can see Yo going like Scout Spear, turning that into Knight, Monk, and Spearman. That's Yo's thing.
Absolutely.
So I'm thinking Nikov's going to need some archers, right?
I think you have to open archers as the Gujaras here. Because if your opponent plays the Spear Scout, then it's going to be very tough. Yeah, you could add an archer range and then go for scrims. What do you say?
I'm saying whoa because look at the opening between Yo's base and the middle. Is that a bug? That I mean, that's open.
I had that in the training game once, and Nili saw it, and he said he would not consider that as a bug.
Okay, well, I'm glad we experienced this before.
yeah, but it can be very annoying to deal against, right, for both players. So let's see how they will maneuver around it. A very, very fast uptime for Nikov, though. With 17 villagers, usually the fastest you see is like 18, but that means your build has to be extremely clean, and you have to have the proper civilization for that. So 17 villagers is something I personally have not even done myself. So very, very strong. And Nikov is known for that, right? He has one of the cleanest build orders, and especially if it's about reaching the next age.
Yep, it's clean and it's fast, but there is a downside of sometimes the economy behind it in the long term isn't quite there.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the Camel Scout becomes very important here. The Camel Scout starts to do bonus damage in Feudal, and just making use of that Camel Scout against what Yo would add if he would go Scouts would be useful. So Yo's going to flip the script on us here. We are going to see Scouts from Nikov. You were thinking Archers.
Yep.
And we were thinking Scouts from the Franks, and we're now seeing Militia. Nikov's confirmed this. So Yo's going to go Man-at-Arms. But wait a second. Hold the phone. He's not actually on gold.
He's on goal. He's on goal now.
Okay. I mean, come on, the timing there. I mean, the militia was late. So
I love that one.
He still didn't make the third militia, though, so he could have been on gold a little bit earlier, let's say.
Absolutely. You know, Mr. Yo, the build he's going for, I would not consider as the cleanest at all. And now with the... He has not added any more militia, though. So
yeah,
maybe he just wants to fake man-at-arm aggression here and just transition into archers as soon as possible. And that's exactly what he will go
Wow, Jordan, what a noob. It's weird, right?
He only has 2 militia on the field.
It's weird, right? I agree. I agree with everything you were saying, though. Typically, it's just add the 2 militia, fake them out, make them go archers a bit earlier because they're fearful of you. But man-at-arms with 2 militia is very off-meta.
It doesn't really make too much sense, I think.
Well, let's see. If he kills... He's going to kill 3 villagers, and we're going to look like idiots.
I will stop casting then. Like, hallelujah. that would be such a bad call by me. But, you know... I'm speechless.
I'm not going to talk for the next minute. Please explain all of this to us.
Oh, God. I wanted to ask you the same right now. Okay, so literally, what... I guess... Okay, so hear me out. What Mr. Yo was thinking, if someone like Jordan would fall for that trap, Nikov would as well, and he sees the 2 militia, he will not expect man-at-arms.
Oh, the quick wall, though.
Oh, God.
Ay, Jordan.
I was going to a good direction. I was like, okay, he kills the villager. Oh, he kills the villager. Yes, the man-at-arms were worth it.
Honestly, this has been a successivul attack, right?
It has been.
You've killed a villager. You've denied the walls. You've probably confused Nikov, right?
Because everyone is confused.
Nikov's like...
Mr. Yo is confused.
Nikov's like, this isn't a build order I've ever faced in training before.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, behind it, you're going to have some archers and spearmen. And, you know, a worrisome sign for me here for Nikov, he doesn't have a 4th scout. He's not moving forward at all.
No.
He's just stayed at home this entire time against this attack.
Yeah, and he's kind of struggling for the food income.
Absolutely.
Because he has been pushed away from the mill, and now the 2 men-at-arms and the spearmen are engaging. Only the spearman is engaging against 8 units. Yeah, that's not something you want to see. Because the spearman is so important to be killed for Nikov, right?
Yep.
And the camel remains alive with 2 HP, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's like, come kill me. Just kidding.
And then bam.
Oh! What?
That was 2 range by the man-at-arms.
Is he a throwing axeman? I didn't know you could get those in Feudal Age.
Well, he's Franks, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So it makes sense.
That is a
sometimes.
bad boy.
That is.
Like, occasionally,
yeah.
whether it's scouts or like any melee unit in this game, you run away at the proper time, you're a tile and a half or 2 tiles away, and they somehow still hit you.
Yeah.
It's really hard to predict. It's just part of the game. Yo's got to be living the dream right now with how successful his attack has been. And now he could kill the 1 archer. He could kill 2 archers here. Oh, this is still a great position for Yo.
Absolutely. Because fletching is now in for Mr. Yo. Nikov on your side doesn't even have the blacksmith up and functioning right away. So, you know, Mr. Yo definitely has the advantage here. He goes back. I like the move. Just get more army out.
Yep.
And once you have 3-4 archers, then you can go for the next attack here. Nikov on the other side getting fletching in now as well. And if we take a look at the resources collected overall for both players, they are very similar here.
Jordan, do you ever get tilted? Or are you just a cool, calm, collected guy all the time?
I get tilted every once in a while.
Okay.
At myself.
At yourself. Yeah, sure, of course. Not a doubt when you play team games?
Let me add doubt as well.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But
doubt, he said it, not me.
Only me and doubt occasionally.
Okay. So the reason I asked this is because Nikov's had a bit of a rough slide here over the last 30 minutes, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, he had a perfect opening in Feudal, watched everything fall apart, had enough time to think of why it fell apart, right? And maybe kick himself a little bit.
Yep.
And then here, this opening, that gets to you, you know, there's some frustration, there's some losses, you still have counterattacked.
Yep.
This is an important sequence in this entire series right now for Nikov. Thank you, Simet and Hello, Doubt. I didn't know Doubt was watching. I shouldn't have made the joke. So let's see what Nikov can do to recover from this whole situation, because it could affect his performance if he really lets these things snowball mentally. But here you have Yo. You cannot wall on the rock terrain. So the villagers just say, what's up? And they kill an archer. And Nikov trying to get some counter damage in, but Yo ready for it. Very impressive there.
Interesting to me is that Mr. has added the stable here, and Nikov sees that. So he obviously can adapt very proper to that now. Remains his archers, Mr. is, maybe loses one in the process. Oh, the Skirm is trying to get the kill, but not capable of doing that. And the Scout goes down very soon as well for Nikov. The thing, however, he doesn't have the map presence anymore with the army. However, he is up to cast age very, very soon. And once Gujaras are up in cast age, they have access to very strong camels and the lovely Shravamsha rider. And, you know, the Franks are going to struggle a lot against that. However, Mr. Yo is moving his army forward now, and he will be able to deal damage onto the gold income because there is a tower defending the woodline, but not the gold.
Yeah, you kind of had to choose here. And honestly, I think if you're Nikov, you can just leave the gold. I was initially thinking that you just buy a tower, but I think that now that you're completely walled, you're making ranged units, you can just try and pick those off there. But, you know, the concerning thing will be, of course, he's not going to have a strong army to really kill Yo with an early castle. No. So this is a feeling that sometimes players have. It's like one player will think it's better to go castle. Other players will think, well, I have to make sure I can do something with the faster castle age. So this does come at a cost for Nikov. Yo will still have some time. He will be in castle age soon, and he's got the stone to drop town centers. But what do you think about this? We have camels on the way out of the stable. The only civilization that can make camels in feudal age is the Gujaras. I
mean, the fact that they're capable of doing that is pretty awesome. However, I don't like the position of Nikov right now. He has the timing advantage, no question about it, but he doesn't have any gold income. So he has to use the market in order to get a little bit of gold, which he can work with. And also, Mr. Yo scouted the other gold line on the right-hand side. So very, very beautiful awareness by him. But now Mr. Yo sees two feudal age camels, soon to be the camel rider. Ooh. And quick walls happening, but it won't happen for the entire
well, if they stand there long enough. Human wall.
I love that move, though.
This is epic. Yo's going to sacrifice his woodline to kill this army. Oh, my God.
It's so good.
This is so good. It's worth it.
It's worth it.
It's worth it because it'd be so much worse if you let the army through. Holy cow. I mean, Nikov does find value. He does kill a couple villagers, but what a unique play there from Yo.
I mean, he lost, I think, 3 villagers in the process, right? So that was obviously... You kind of expect that if you go for the human wall, right? Like,
yeah.
You as a player know that, right? Like, if you commit to the human wall, there are going to be some villagers dying. That's just the trade you're going to go into.
Yep.
But, you know, he was killing the archers. Mr. Yo didn't know if there was a crossbow upgrade incoming, right? So, I think it made sense for him to go for that. However, I wonder how Mr. Yo is going to deal against those... extremely mobile units with the Shravamsha.
And it's just like the perfect unit for this map because you have to go for human walls instead of palisade walls. And no hesitation from Nikov. He's moving over to the woodline with one Shravamsha, gets the pick. He's moving to the gold with the others. There's a TC going up there. I'm not sure if it'll complete or not. Quick walls from Yo will ensure that maybe it does. But Nikov, the early castle age, we were worried Jordan wouldn't do enough for him. It's done enough so far, in my opinion, and he will be able to deny that TC entirely.
God, and there are going to be so many villagers killed as well by Nikov in the entire process. His score looks still extremely good, but at this stage, I would say it's kind of inflated because that must be scouting information.
Yeah.
He's just... If we take a look at the game, he's definitely behind here.
Well, what's interesting is Yo will have the second town center, and he will be able to produce vills out of both those TCs. So Yo might actually catch up here. He is going to lose another one. He has limited access to wood, but at least he can wall there. And Yo is now denying the gold from Nikov again, which is pretty impressive.
There's a Mangonel out on the field as well, and Mr. Yo, I don't think he wants to stay here for too long. Pikeman upgrade incoming as well for Mr. Yo. Squires incoming as well, so he will be able to get a good army out. However, he will lose those crossbows, and that's very problematic for Mr. Yo because those crossbows are extremely important to him. No, he won't lose them. Never mind.
Yeah, I actually think... I mean, obviously, it depends on the micro here. I actually think because of the HP on the units there for Nikov, that if he were to dive, he would lose half of his units to kill those crossbows, which isn't really worth it. What an interesting game here. I
think the crossbows are in danger here.
Let's see.
Okay, never mind. Like, the Mangonel is looming.
It's waiting. Nikov dropping a town center on his gold, Jordan. I like that decision. Yo waiting for monks and pikemen to be able to deal with the woodline attack. But just typical Yo. You've got this massive army at your base, and you don't go home to deal with it right away.
No, who cares, right? Like, it's part of his strategy by looks of it. When I look at his wood income, I'm not too pleased right now.
Yeah,
he has only 2, and not 2 for too much longer.
Oh, what happened there? I guess he was repairing the lumber camp and didn't realize the palisade would go down. That's a great attack for Nikov. Even pulling away the majority of the force to escape and leaving that camel to finish the job. The timing there from Nikov was beautiful.
Absolutely. A little bit of a slip-off by Mr. Yo, but... You know, he's building a 3rd TC now as well. Monk is there, and he will get a conversion, I'm sure. Like, he's Mr. Yo.
No fast conversion this time.
Mr. Yo, come on.
Do you think, is it just a meme, or do you think that Yo gets faster conversions than other people?
Yes, he does.
He does?
Yeah.
Is it because he makes monks more than other people?
No.
It's just because he's Mr. Yo?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
No.
Who else gets fast conversions? Actually, no. Who gets the slowest conversions in Age of Empires?
Who complains the most? Let me think.
Well, I mean, there's one name that comes to my mind.
Are we thinking about MVL?
No. The person I've seen complain about not getting conversions the most is Doubt, for sure.
I always think about him as well. Yeah, it's like he's always complaining about the monks, but when he has good conversions, he's like, no, it's normal. Like no, it's skill.
Oh, man. What day of the week is it today? Today's Thursday, I think?
Yeah, tomorrow is coming.
So tomorrow is Doubt Day. That'll be cool to hear him get to complain about the conversions here at the house here.
Yeah.
Well, 60 villagers for Nikov, 12 army.
Mm-hmm.
There is a scaling issue perhaps with his army now because he's making cavalry units which can be countered by the pikemen and the monks that are out there on the field. So that's perhaps why he's pushing forward now, and why he's thinking about shifting his focus. And I didn't realize he had the stone here. He's going to drop a castle in this middle area, and this is extremely important on Rocky Forest. There's a lot of gold, and there's a lot of stone there, and there's just not a lot of mineable resources on the outer ring here at all.
There's nothing. So the middle is...
Oh my god, the deers are trolling him.
the middle is just so important, and right now I don't know where Mr. Yo's army is. He has 22 units, but where are these?
Counterattacking.
No! He uses them on the side instead of the middle.
I feel like if this is Arabia, that's fine.
Yeah.
There's so much gold and stone here, that's got to be questioned. Right?
Yeah, I'm questioning it right now.
Yeah.
Because you literally give your opponent all the access to the resources which are so vital. And what is that raid really going to accomplish? Like, there is a TC on the south side, so I don't see anything happening there.
Yeah. Now here's the other thing, though. If he would have come to the middle, I think he gets clapped there, and I don't think he can actually stop the castle.
Because of the two mangonels?
Because Nikov had a siege. Nikov would probably be in a position to kill it. So, you know, that's the one thing we should mention here. Yes, maybe Yo should have kept vision on the middle, but maybe he just knew his army was fragile.
Yeah.
And that he'd have to give it up for the time being.
Yeah.
Wood's still a massive issue for him, though. Like, he's got some wood on the right side, but that lumber camp, I guess he re-walls now, still could be a focus for Nikov.
Very interesting. Also, if we take a glimpse at his resources, it's kind of an indicator that he wants to go up to Imperial Age as soon as possible, right?
Yep.
Especially because he's banking up stone as well. So maybe his idea is to go up to Imperial Age much faster, then Nikov, and then trap down the middle, and then regain the control in the middle. So that is definitely a very viable strategy to go for, especially because the resources he has in the back are still available to him.
Where do you castle, though?
Right behind, like at the archer range, delete the mill and build the castle.
Okay, so basically in the area that's currently being attacked.
Oh, you have
best castle spot? Okay.
You have to. Yeah. There's no other position.
There's a Yo conversion for you.
Here we go.
1 for 1 on the Mangonel. Yo converts 1, kills 2, I believe, with that camel. So that helps him, but he still doesn't have the army there to be able to build that castle, Jordan.
Yeah. There is a world where Mr. Yo builds the castle on the right-hand side where the extra gold is of Nikov.
Oh,
there.
He's looking at it, too.
Yeah. There is a chance, right? But I would say these two options are the only ones. I mean, he has the stone right now for the castle. Remember, Frank's castles are cheaper. And he's using those 2 knights now to take down that Mangonel. And... you know, he also gets the scouting information.
Ooh, Scorpions destroying that force. Yeah, well, that didn't do what Yo was looking for. Maybe it did act as a distraction, though. We still don't know where his castle is going to be. He can build one with Franks right now. And for the time being, he's just making pikemen, which I don't think is the best long-term army composition here against the Gurjaras if the Gurjaras make their chakram throwers. Nikov, though, dropping stables, so he's not really committing towards the chakrams. He's also not really paying attention to that area of the map, Jordan. So I think this is possible for Yo. He'll have Trebs out earlier, and he can make more castles throughout this game with his Civ.
Absolutely. Imperial incoming for Nikov now as well, though. So he's not that much behind compared to his opponent. Just roughly 1.5 minutes here. And what is that sign?
That means we just hit 10K viewers.
Ah, okay. I thought something else. But
woo!
Okay. Wow, let's go!
You're supposed to sell. There we go, Jordan.
I thought we gained 10,000 hippo points right now for the beautiful casting.
Oh man. Well, someone slams the door
Hera,
in here.
Man. Only because you don't have to play today doesn't mean you have to wreak havoc.
Trev's going to be on the way here for Yo. And Yo will be happy that he could convert these chakrams potentially because that's the unit he wants to avoid if he's going to be going for pikes with his Trebs. There's still no second trebuchet here for Yo. And we see the university in the middle for Nikov. If Nikov holds the middle, I'm confident he's going to win this game. There's just so much gold, there's just so much stone. Gurjaras get bombard cannon too, so I think he's going to go for chemistry. Yo's going to have every single engagement go right here.
This is going to be so tough for him. And he's also fighting in a choke point, right? Nikov has so much more space as well. He has the tech, which has the impact that his units cost less food. What was that?
Yo deleted his Shravamsha because he thought he would lose it, and he wants to steal that relic.
Okay.
So that monk now doesn't have anything that can kill him, and he's going to run away with the relic.
Understand. Okay.
That will actually be relic number 4 for Yo as well, which is pretty beastly if he can take it home.
Absolutely. So having those relics is definitely coming in handy. However, you know, overall the economical situation looks so much better for Nikov here. And now those 2 trebuchet, they're working on that forward castle. There's not too much stone for Nikov right now.
Oh,
so
true.
There is a, you know, there is a world where Nikov loses those 2 forward castle because the chemistry is still 45 seconds away from completing. And right now I would claim that Nikov doesn't really have the units to jump onto those trebuchets as well. So, you know, if Mr. Yo can come back into this game, it is now.
Yeah, seriously. It's just so sick what he's been able to do because I felt like he was also behind in his game against ACCM on Rocky Forest yesterday.
Oh, yeah. He was.
And all of a sudden, he takes out one of the 2 castles. He's got bombard cannons coming out already. And I really like the unit prioritization here from Yo because he got the pikemen out early, but he hasn't really committed to the Halb upgrade because he knows it doesn't need it when he's underneath his own castle for the time being. Probably should do it soon.
Oh.
And has to be careful. But, you know, for now, he's making progress.
He's making progress and he killed a trebuchet. There were 2 trebuchet hits hitting for Mr. Yo and the bomber cannon finished the job. And all of a sudden, we're in a situation where Mr. Nikov doesn't have any access to any trebuchets right now. He's queuing up 2 bomber cannons, so they will come in very handy as well. But those 4 traps, they're going to melt this castle in no time whatsoever. And then all of a sudden, there are no castles on the field anymore for Nikov. And we are thinking about clear army.
0 on gold for Yo. He does have access to gold on the left. He's got 0 right now, so we should see him take that gold soon. He's got hand cannons, which are a very nice addition against the army he's up against. And he's got just pikemen for now, but he's got a couple monks I'm sure he can get conversions with. And he's going to drop a cheap castle to secure some golden stone in the middle. Nikov, he's had the lead in this game. He had the middle control. Can he push back here? Can he prevent Yo from taking the resources? The chakrams do decent damage there. Oh, what a fight here, Jordan.
Ooh, and look at that. Oh. Nikov actually goes for heavy camel rider. That's such a bad move for him.
Oh, man.
Oh, and this engagement is also beautiful for Mr. Yo, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. And also, Yo is producing more units. He's got more in queue. He's got more upgrades on the units he's fighting with.
Bomber cannon goes down for Nikov as well.
Oh, man. And Yo, how has he brought himself back here, Jordan? He's got crazy resources. His micro has been solid enough here. The castle, obviously, the most important thing that he has up.
Yeah.
And Nikov running out of answers. I don't think he knows what to do against this right now.
No, it looks like he is kind of out of answers. Yep. I think the best situation would be for him to, you know, go for bomber cannons and even thinking about crossbows. I'm not even joking here, because crossbows would be doing well against the hand cannoneer and the pikeman. Bomber cannons, of course, you need your own ones. But camels, that's not going to be the answer here, because they don't really work well against the pikeman or the hand cannoneer. And Mr. Yo is not like he has a huge mass of cavalry himself. So I just love the way Mr. Yo is playing it. It's very well thought through, very slow push here. And it doesn't look like he's going to make a blunder. Oh! I'm saying he's not going to make a blunder, and then all of a sudden he loses to bomber cannon.
Curse to the caster there from Jordan. Also, shout out to that one farmer who was like, I'm still going to work. I don't care if my farm's on fire. I need to work for my family.
I like that spirit.
Yeah, 11 hand cannons here for Nikov. Is he going for Elite Shrivamsha? That could work, maybe.
If there are no helps on the field,
yeah.
Oh, halberdier finished.
Well, I mean, no, I mean, if he can like kill the halbs with his hand cannons, the Shrivamshas could do some surprising amount of work there.
Like ideally, you have the Shrivamsha rider and then hand cannoneer or the chakram. No, yeah, chakram thrower combination. That is just so deadly for any Sith.
Oh, Nikov. Again, some big shots. Love the push from Yo on the right. I'm not sure that castle's going up, though. I see a lot of blinking on the right. There's so much to look at for us casting. And oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
I mean, on the bright side for Yo, he's got halbs there, but he doesn't have a lot of villagers. We'll keep you updated on that.
Yeah, and now the bomber cannons are engaging against those trebuchet as well. And, you know, army size looks very similar for both players. However, if you take a look at the economy, a huge lead for Nikov. So he's going to have it so much easier to replenish all the army he's losing. And I don't know about you, but I feel like Nikov is swinging this one back.
He absolutely is. Nikov, I thought he was dead, and he's been able to stay alive. He's still been taking lots of gold in the middle. And what we had said before about the Shrivamsha riders having effect could pay off now, because the halbs have all been cleared up in the middle. The micro from Nikov means that he's going to still lose bombard cannons, but he's taking out trebs anyways. And Nikov says, I'm just going to TC there. Take all your trebs in the middle. 175 population for Nikov, and Yo's at 110.
This is just a crazy game. I was so sure that Mr. Yo is capable of pushing through here, because he had such a nice momentum. But Nikov, with the beautiful economy he had in the back, he is able to, you know, get so much army out, and he's expanding further and further. And you know, the middle is kind of both players have access to the middle, yes, but it still feels like Nikov in the long run has the better position, just due to the fact of the better economy, also the super mobile Shrivamsha riders. And Mr. Yo has to play the chasing game right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I love what Nikov's doing, too. The Shrivamshas into Yo's eco is huge, because Yo started to lose ground before he had to react to any raids. Now he has to react to raids, which gives Nikov time to do something like this. He's got a bombard cannon and a treb here. Both players, though, do need to pay close attention to some technologies. Nikov, some of the eco technologies, but also the blacksmith technologies. Lacking lots of armor on his units right now could be a difference maker in some of these fights here, Jordan.
For sure. Yeah, it just feels like Mr. Yo is not really able to keep up with the production. Does the bomber cannon go down? No, it actually survives here with a few HP remaining on it. However, Mr. Nikov able to repair the trebuchet, so managed to keep that one alive and is able to snipe the bomber cannon. Loses his own one, but that was a good trade for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And Trevamshas, I feel like, should just dive against the hand cannons because they don't take much damage from hand cannons in the initial volley.
Yeah.
Yo dropping another castle as he's losing a castle here. Really trying to make use of the cheap Frank castles. And Nikov not making any hand cannons anymore. Could actually be a mistake.
I'm surprised here. He's queuing up a lot of Trevamsha Rider.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's not too much more in the queue here. And if Mr. Yo has a very good bomber cannon micro, he definitely can make it happen.
Yeah.
We have now 140 villagers for Nikov and only 102 for Mr. Yo. And we have a huge engagement coming in. Halberdiers are the saving grace here for Mr. Yo. Bomber cannon goes down though, and that is exactly what Nikov wanted to achieve.
Absolutely. I mean, again, Nikov also no second armor on the Trevamshas. I'm not sure to what degree that matters. I'm pretty sure at least lacking the Castle Age one's a big no-no at this point. And, you know, just because the unit dodges some shots, armor's still very helpful.
Yep.
Yo will lose that castle, but he's still mining stone for more. And Nikov needs to pay attention to his cannons. Nikov loses one. Yo's going to lose one.
Nikov!
But all the Trevamshas are going to go down.
We went through the meat grinder here, and you know, and all of a sudden we catch ourselves with a much closer game because Mr. Yo from 110 up to 150 population once more, even scratching at the 160 population mark. Nikov on the other side, he is still remaining on the 180, so Mr. Yo is making it closer and closer once more. And the thing is, army-wise, Mr. Yo is even ahead.
Yeah, I actually think Yo's army composition is stronger as well.
It is.
And he snipes a cannon there. I don't think the Trevamshas will last very long in this moment. The thing that Yo needs, though, is bomber cannons to snipe those trebuchets, because he's sinking the rest of his stone into repairing that castle.
Absolutely. I mean, the good thing for him is he still has access to the vital resources, which is the stone and the gold. So he can get the bomber cannons out, which he is doing as well. I just feel like the halberdier and the hand cannoneer combination is just going to be so cost effective over the long term.
That was a great bit of micro there from Nikov, though. He killed most of the halbs, and now he engages against the cannon, meaning even if he loses the Trevamshas, that his trebs continue to fire on that castle, which Yo's sinking a lot of stone into. And wow, I mean, a majority of the Trevamshas actually make it back. They see the next cannon, and they want to go for this one too. Yeah,
beautiful display by Nikov how to use those Trevamsha Rider at its highest effectiveness. And I don't think Yo is going to be capable of saving that castle. And yeah, Nikov just with his beautiful economy, capable of getting his army out onto the field without any problem whatsoever. And Mr. Yo right now, he's struggling. Like, he really is really struggling.
Yeah, and I mean, it looked like he was going to take the game, and then obviously, you know, then he kind of fell off a little bit. But Nikov has had a consistent 140 Vil count. He's had defensive castles and TCs where he's needed them at home. And now I actually think that he could take all the castles that Yo has. He has more hand cannons on the field, or as many hand cannons as Yo has. He has more siege, and he's got those Trevamshas. And for Yo, he's kind of split now because he's got the castle on the right that's in the middle, and then this castle on the left. So his production buildings are split up from each other. So it's going to be so difficult to group up his units properly to take engagements.
Oh, this is such a tough one as well. 59 or 60 army against the only sub-40s for Mr. Yo. And always got to keep in mind the Gojara units are a little bit cheaper on the food.
True. Yeah, and that's unique tech was researched a long time ago for Nikov.
Yep.
So that's a very good point, Jordan, we should have mentioned earlier. But can Yo hold on here? He's at 135 pop. Nikov has 25 more army than him, 35 more eco than him, and he's going to take out the castle. Crazy. I'll call it a comeback from Nikov here because I thought he was going to lose at one point.
Absolutely. And I love this game because it was a back and forth, I would say 2-3 times here.
Yeah.
Especially the last 10 minutes. It felt like you know, Mr. Yo is coming back, then Nikov was pushed back, and then Nikov, because of his way superior economy, was able to push back. Then Mr. Yo coming back from 110 population to 150. Nikov on the other side was only capped at 170. Felt like, okay, now Mr. Yo has the snowball, but eventually Nikov capable of pulling through here, tying up the series 2-2. And, you know, and all of a sudden, we only have a best of 3 ahead of us.
Yeah, seriously. Remember when these two played in a best of 5? It went to the 5th game. Here we are 2-2, and I'm loving it. You know, that is also a game for any of you deep dive strategists out there. Go rewatch that one again and look at the difference in Vil counts with the imp times, right? Some people might say, well, Yo had all the advantage. He was imp faster. He had the trebs. He had the cannons faster. What went wrong? Well, the reason he was Imperial Age faster was because that he didn't commit as much to villagers. He didn't have the TC timing that Nikov did. And so, if I'm not wrong, I think he was imp at around 90 villagers. And Nikov had around 110 or 115, right? Exactly. And so naturally, Yo, you know, gets the imp advantage with the early push because of that sacrifice. But then naturally, Nikov in a position to recover with the military numbers because he can afford more at that point, especially with the Kshatriyas unique upgrade that he researched. So again, if you're really like a deep dive strategist, I know that's 99% of people. People don't like memes.
No.
People don't like little clips and highlights. In 2023, they're deep dive strategists. So
all the time.
Go rewatch that because it was a really beautiful game.
Yeah, and once you rewatched it, we can talk about the analysis after.
Yes.
Right? Like, that makes sense.
Absolutely. Dave just said Jordan is pronunciating. He said Jordan is pronunciizing so well today. Did you say that yesterday?
What did I say? Pronunciator. I said a pronunciator.
Is that what you said yesterday?
Yeah, and then Dave just burst out in laughter. I didn't understand it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, how many words can Dave say in German?
Nothing.
Yeah, he probably could say 3.
I asked him to say Wachkatzalschwaf. He didn't want to even try.
I'm sorry, what?
Wachkatzalschwaf.
Wachkatzalschwaf.
At least T90 is trying. Dave.
I thought I was close, man.
No. that was not close.
I hope. Did I say anything offensive there?
No.
That's a dangerous game to play.
It's a tale of, how's it called? A tale of a squirrel.
Oh, interesting. Is that like a really hard word to say?
Yeah, it's
German?
Bavarian.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Well,
I would say most people who speak German would not even able to say that. But my point is, you're right. He's making fun of me. However, he doesn't know any word in English and in German.
I mean, you know, we're joking here, obviously. But, you know, I've talked to a lot of people, like, you know, there's going to be a viewing party, and we'll have the pleasure of getting to meet some fans. I've had so many people at some of these viewing events come up to me and, like, speak very good English.
Yeah.
And they apologize so profusely, like, oh, my English is so bad.
And you always say, yeah, you suck.
Yeah, like English is my first language, and I mispronounce things very frequently, right? Yeah. So if anyone out there speaks more than one language, I respect you. Even if you don't even know that many words. I mean, Jordan, I only passed Spanish class because I copied my friend's homework.
I love that.
So, I mean, I really am just not the best example.
But, you know, I think it is so important that we encourage people trying, right? Like, you only get better by trying, right? And not making, you know, laughing about others. Yeah. Dave, I hope you're hearing this one.
No, he's...
He's not, he will keep his track.
Absolutely. Well, players took the break there if you didn't realize it. Players, I imagine that is something we've had said. I haven't confirmed it with Nili, but pretty typical in a best of 7. After game 4, go ahead and take some time for yourselves. And production! Let's go.
I'll give you the €5 later.
Well played.
I like that.
Well played.
Finally, I get some support here.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it was kind of funny before we kicked off with the first round. ACCM, like Nili was holding a meeting, you know, giving us all the information about the next couple of days, and ACCM and Mr. Yo, they like to smoke, right, to relax themselves, and they were asking if they get a smoke break between the games, and Nili is like, okay, for best of 5 we're not going to be able to do so, right?
Yes.
But then yesterday they had a best of 5, but the best of 5 lasted like a best of 9.
Yeah,
true.
True.
And then after the 4th game, which took 2 hours, Nili comes into the room and be like, okay, guys, you can smoke right now. And the facial expression by both of them, right, like super relief. So, yeah. Now Mr. Yo with a best of 7, he's going to be, I think he has that, but I don't know.
Yeah,
anyway,
I don't think he did. I think they just used the restroom. Maybe he did. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yo is stealing sheep right now. He went over to scout, maybe to see if, Nikov had a dock going up or whatever, and he found some pigs. Sheep? Yes, sheep. Sorry. It's confusing because he's got sheep and pigs there. And he has just stolen 200 food from Nikov's side. That's pretty nifty there.
Absolutely. And also, if I look at the civilizations, I have to smile because Bengalis is in the picture as well. And, when Hera and Nili were on the couch and discussing about the draft, the both of us talked as well, and we were like, yeah, Northern Isle is going to be extremely interesting because if Mr. Yo is in there, it's going to be wild.
Absolutely.
And now seeing Bengalis in the mix as well, it's going to be wild 100%.
I think Bengalis put the least pressure on you than any other civilization here. And here's what I mean by that. You can have things go wrong for you with Bengalis, but the way they operate, you're still in a good position, right? And the reason I say that is because you get +2 villagers from your TCs when you arrive to the next stage.
Yep.
So we've seen many instances where the Bengalis go back dock and add fish, and they try to keep their fish alive.
Yeah.
But more than anything, they're just heading to Castle Age to drop more town centers and get more villagers. So you can kill the Bengali fish, but the kind of the frustrating thing on Nikov's side is going to be that they had more villagers than you. So another matchup here where Nikov's going to be the one looking to be aggressive early, looking for crazy micro. And Northern Isles is very complicated, right? Because there's many different ways you can do it. You start with the transport ship, which can be used to transport villagers, or, as we saw, steal some sheep.
Absolutely. And that's what I love about this map specifically, is that you start with the transport ship, because it adds so much more complexity to this game. It's not just like, okay, both players check who is better at spamming certain units and has a little bit of a better micro. No, it's so much more about the strategical decisions which both players go for. However, Nikov with Dravidians, I personally consider them the best civilization on this map because of the fact that not only do the fishing boats carry 15 more food, so they're way more efficient than other civilizations, but they also get 200 wood upon reaching the next age, which is super, super handy. The dock tree, if I'm not mistaken, they have access to everything, absolutely everything, and they have maybe even the strongest water unit on water, which is the Therizadai, I think I pronounced it.
That's pretty good, yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that's true. I mean, it's been interesting to see the Dravidians. I like them so much more on this map than I do some of the ones that typically turn into a lot more land focus, because there's a big question over the Dravidians when there's heavy land focus.
Oh, absolutely.
But the thing is, that's the same with the Bengalis. Like, Jordan, you and I talked about your game on Arena and the Bengalis, and you were just kind of like, well, I could make 2 units, and then I wasn't really sure what else I could go for.
Okay, I reached the state which I wanted. What now?
Yeah, exactly. But look at this. This is not the first time we've seen it. Nikov transporting a villager. Whoa. Yep. Transporting a villager for a forward dock because he wants to produce closer to where he believes the fish will be for Yo. And also, I believe he will use that villager to make an archery range, because otherwise he wouldn't be making the barracks at home. Excuse me.
You know what I would love to see? Nikov actually going for stable. Ooh. Usually I would say archer range. However, stable not only poses the threat of raids onto the mainland of Mr. Yo, but it also serves as a defending tool for incoming Monk aggression.
Okay.
So that is the idea behind. But yeah, I think I can stop talking about that because the both of us were wrong.
No.
It was an archer range, but not. It is at home.
Well, okay. Well, what's your initial thought on the archer range being at home? Do you like it or do you hate it? Or are you kind of in between?
I don't like it too much, honestly.
I think it, like, for my level of APM, that is a waste, right? Because I just got to transport back and forth, and then I'm not going to be able to focus on other things. For Nikov, I can see him thinking, well, my opponent's back docked, so he's not going to be able to snipe my transport ship, so why not? But, I mean, I just love to have some level of presence on my opponent's island.
Absolutely.
So I would have preferred the archery range just be built on the island.
I agree, because now Mr. Yo will have it so much easier to make the decision to go forward and land with his own units, right? Instead of focusing on defending his own island first.
Yep.
Because the push he most likely will go for is just such a death ball, and it has to operate at the front though, right?
Yeah, we'll see. There you go with Yo fleeing with a fishing ship. He will be making a fire galley of his own. Worth reminding everyone that the Dravidians are Nikov's most played civ at 7 out of 13. Wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
okay.
He loves them. Dravidians. I like that.
It's a nice creative word there from the production staff. But the Bengali ships do regenerate HP, so if you don't kill them right away, they will definitely heal back up. So it's worth remembering that. And Nikov didn't go with galleys here, which are better at killing fishing ships. He went for the fire galleys. So right now, Yo, obviously a little bit in an awkward spot. But he still has 5 fishing ships, which is what he started with. And he's going for a forward dock here, Jordan. So he will most likely attempt to take the water in Castle Age.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, there are a lot of mind games as well. Oh, Mr. Yo will actually spot that dock here and will spot the fishing boat. So that will give him a good indication that indeed Nikov will try to get as many economical advantages as possible here. And now, what is Mr. Yo going to go for? That's the main question. Is he adding fire ships on the front dock, or is it just a possibility for fish boats to work?
Yep. Could be both, possibly. I think the priority will be to go for the war galley upgrade. So if you get the war galley upgrade completed, then your ships will be stronger. But again, Yo already received an additional +2 villagers when he made it to Feudal. So he's going to get even 2 more now once he makes it to Castle. There are the archers. It took a long time, but the archers are here. And
there's a whole
overchop. There's an overchop on the wood line for Yo, and Yo might be distracted elsewhere.
Oh, for sure.
This could be huge for Nikov.
This is never mind. I was about to say this is going to be so huge, but never mind. Mr. Yo is on point here, and he's walling. So the archers are not going to be able to achieve anything as crucial, which Nikov was hoping for. And now the transport ship also gets confirmation on the second back dock on Mr. Yo's island. So it is going very wild here indeed, and those fishing boats are being attacked now by the fire galley as well. What is Mr. Yo's strategy here? Because I don't see any forward buildings.
It's just gonna be water and boom, honestly. And he hasn't lost a single economic unit, Jordan.
He has not.
No, so it's 0-0 on the eco KD, and he's also +4 on eco because of the villager bonus. So as long as he keeps his fishing ships alive, and I remember them being weak before, they're not weak now because they regened. I really like Yo's position. Nikov is still 2.5 minutes away from the next stage.
So he will definitely be behind in terms of the economy. And I think what Mr. Yo needs to do right now is aim for the fishing boats of Nikov, because that's where Nikov's advantage is right now. And the fire galleys, fire ships, are also much faster in killing fishing boats than the fire galleys. The question is, will Mr. Yo spot that one? These fishing boats, they are in the front and they could be exposed to this fire ship.
Yep, and there's one fishing ship there, just passing from the demo. Good demo, actually, nice from Yo.
And he sees it. Yeah,
so
he will. Oh god, that is so huge for Mr. Yo, because that will have such a huge impact on the food income for Nikov. And now he has no other option than to run here.
Yeah, Nikov's archers also haven't really been able to accomplish much. You're going to see that archer go down there. So Yo has been able to be on 3 TCs, killing fish, hasn't lost any fishing ships. 47 eco versus 35, and it's only going to grow larger for Yo.
Absolutely, and that is the big thing about Mr. Yo, right? He kind of grew up on Nomad. And on Nomad, you always try to get the kills on the fishing boats as well.
Yep.
So, yeah, I personally would always be a little bit afraid going up against Mr. Yo on these kind of maps, because he's just so good at it. And everyone else most likely would have straight up fought against those fire galleys, but he says, no, I want to use them just to kill the fishing boats. And then all of a sudden, Mr. Yo up with 53 villagers, and his opponent with 20 economical units less.
The positive here for Nikov, he's got 11 ships, actually 13 ships. So if he can group up his ships, he can still hold water control. And on these water maps, the game will likely go to Imp. You have advantages going to Imp, but it's very hard to finish off your opponent on this type of map. So I expect Nikov to be able to compete. And if you can compete, and you can keep that villager on the opponent's island, and you can take out Yo's docks, when Nikov has quite a few on the back, remember, still doable for him. And as you said, Jordan, and I'm going to trust in you. I haven't been in love with the Dravidians this tourney, but you did say you think they're the strongest civilization for this map. So I'm going to trust in you that Nikov's got a good chance if he could just hold water control and, oh, God.
Demo with a very good explosion here, really maximizing the damage it took there. And yeah, as you mentioned, like the water presence is not really given for Mr. Yo in terms of the army. He still has fish working away, yes, but they are doomed in a moment. Yeah, right?
True.
Like, Nikov is going to overwhelm here. He just has way more army. And then all of a sudden, the economical discrepancy is not going to be as big as it was a couple of seconds ago.
It feels like demo time right now for Yo, right? That's a lot of fire ships. So I'd be making some demos. I also heard some conversions happening from his monks, maybe converting some archers. Oh, God. Oh, there's a mangonel there from Nikov.
How did that happen?
And the villagers are actually going to take it out here.
Yeah, there's no way Nikov can save that one, right? Maybe temporarily, but...
Well, that's actually still okay for Nikov, because he can kill a couple villagers at least.
Yeah, the thing is, it's easy for Mr. Yo to defend against that, right? In theory, he would just need to get Redemption Monks, and then he's fine about that.
It's demo time. It's demo time, Jordan. Oh, my goodness.
Give us one more. We want one more.
Good. Yes, I think it's on the way as well.
Yeah, but Nikov is keeping track on that one.
Yeah.
But it's still a scary thing to have in mind, right? Right now, 66 villages against 7. I mean, I love the idea from Nikov. He obviously scouted the TCs with those archers.
Yep.
And he knew he was going to be behind in terms of economy.
Yep.
So he will apply the pressure just to, you know, make it a little bit more harder for Mr. Yo to boom freely.
The 33 on wood and then 7 on food for Nikov doesn't make me think that he's going to be Imp anytime soon, though.
I would agree. It's pretty tough. Yeah.
I know. I'm casting with you. I'm like, Jordan's Mr. Positive. He's always going to find a way to make someone's negative situation look good, right?
It sucks.
So you
don't even go that way.
Okay, all right.
It sucks.
There are apparently exceptions to this rule. So.
Yeah. If you're on 3 TC and have 11 on food right now, it's not gonna cut it.
Okay, all right. Good to know. Good to know. TC there for Nikov. I'm sure he'll add a few more farms. Yo, definitely ahead in that regard, and Yo has not completely lost water. Nikov is trying to recover with fishing ships on the back, actually, which I really like here.
I love it.
So I don't know if Yo's going to be able to make fire ships to get back there for quite a while. So good work, Nikov. I also saw 2 demos from him in the middle island. He's kind of waiting right here. This is an important area of the screen for Nikov, both on water and on land. And Yo's got to be careful. Loses a villager there to some ships.
Yeah, Nikov has done such a good job because a couple of minutes ago...
Boom. Boom.
A couple of minutes ago, he was down 20 economy units, and now all of a sudden it's only 10. So he was able to have that. So that's very positive. However, resource collected, better for Mr. Yo. It's kind of like he will most likely reach Imperial Age faster, and then he will get 6 more villages for free as well. So economy-wise, he's going to be ahead, and Bengalis are extremely strong as well on mortar. So it's not like Dravidians will have a clear edge. They have the stronger unit there, yes, but it's very costly as well. So question is, will Nikov be capable of affording that one?
Nikov's had a lot of villagers on the shorefish even. He's really done everything he can to recover the food that he's been behind on. Big demos here from Yo, and Yo is not giving up on water still. He's also has an elephant headed towards the siege workshop. There's no monks there for Nikov, so this might put an end to his land push.
I love that addition of the elephant so much because it just shuts down everything which can come out of the siege workshop. And then all of a sudden, like the last few seconds have been so positive for Mr. Yo. He has gotten a better control on the border. He has defended the land aggression. The demo shot was not really achieving what it should have done. And then all of a sudden, 2 war galleys against 4 fire ships. That's not going to be going too well. And there are a lot of exposed fishing boats here.
Yeah, absolutely. There will be a demo here for Nikov. Well-timed demo. So he won't kill all the ships with this. He could kill some of them. Yo splitting up, though. I mean, even if Yo loses the ships at this point, he'll be happy with how this engagement is gone. Monk coming in here to try and convert some ships. I'm not sure if it did or not. No. Oh, it's a Bengali monk. So it won't die that quickly. I just watched about 4 or 5 fishing ships go down there for Nikov. Nikov's still at 100 and some food. Conversion will end up coming in, and Yo... he's still being contested quite a bit here by Nikov, and he's being contested on his island. What a great job from Nikov. I've been expecting here to watch Nikov's population plummet and Nikov's resources be at the limit, but seriously, this has been an insane fight from the Argentinian.
Absolutely, I love the way he managed to come back into this game here, and if we take a look at the economy right now, it's not too far apart. Of course, the resources collected are much better for Mr. Yo, but he yet has to put that onto the field as well, right? And oh, there could be a big demo shot, but I don't think he will utilize the demos here on those fishing boats. And Mr. Yo will go up to Imperial Age, definitely faster than Nikov, but most likely not as much faster than I was initially expecting.
Yeah. I think advantages will still be there for Yo, who's actually made a transport somewhere, so he'll probably be thinking about transporting to the middle island.
He also has a lot of stone, right?
Yeah, lots of stone. All right, let's talk upgrade priority.
Shipwright.
For Yo. Okay, shipwright. Shipwright's the first thing you click?
Like, ideally it's the first click, yeah. Like bow saw, I don't know, how's the Imperial Age thing called?
Two-man saw.
Two-man saw, yeah. That one is
he doesn't have bow saw, yeah. But, so bow saw, okay.
And then the third one, and shipwright is just so crucial because shipwright, you know, not only does it pump up your production, but also the wood cost goes down. And we see a castle fight between both players.
They both only have 5 bills.
Who wins that one? I think Yo looks better there.
Oh no, and you can't get back home because your transport ship has gone down. You poor villagers.
That's so disastrous.
So sad. This is why I don't go on cruises, man.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, they drop you off and then they'll forget to pick you up.
It can be fun, right? But you have certain risks.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're not there at a certain time, you're like, you know,
and especially if there's like 1,000 people on this cruise, if they just forget little old me, they still got most of the people.
Yeah, there's like one more or less. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Did the villagers actually
chop the tree? They did chop the tree.
Why do you think? What was that? Like, was that in like?
I think
a gesture.
I think he tried to click to the shoreline to get as far away as possible and just ended up.
Ah, okay. So it was a misclick, you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like reading something behind that. Like maybe Nikov is trying to tell Mr. Yo something. But yeah.
Okay. So
most likely it was.
Let's see. You said wood upgrade, so he's going to assume he has bow saw already.
Look at the resources, shipwright.
And he's going to go shipwright immediately.
Shipwright, yep.
It's not cheap, by the way, guys. It's like 1,000 food.
1,000 food, 300 gold.
And 300 gold. There you go.
Come on, Mr. Yo. Make me look smart. Make me look smart. That was wrong.
Well, I mean, he hasn't clicked any dock text yet, so he'll do it soon. I imagine he's busy.
Don't be busy, Mr. Yo. I mean, you've been in Imperial. No, that's the wrong one.
No, okay.
You misclicked.
Come on, Yo, get shipwright. It's so important. So, Jordan, tell us what shipwright does, since he won't research it.
Shipwright!
There we go.
Let's go. So, if I'm not mistaken, it reduces the cost by 20% in terms of the wood. Of the wood, not of the gold.
Of the ships or the docks?
No, of the wood. Yeah, of the wood. Of the ships.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. And the production should be 33% faster as well.
Okay.
Right?
I believe there's one more thing. I believe it's faster production on ships. I believe it is that cheaper ships, but I also believe it's cheaper docks. I could be wrong on that
No
one.
way.
I thought it was because Vikings don't get shipwright because they already have cheaper docks. I think they also have cheaper warships.
No way that the dock is cheap.
There's 3 things. I thought it was 3 things. We'll get clarification from somebody.
Can Chet help us out?
But either... I'm a little scared of Chat.
No, he's...
They make fun of me there.
Nili is making fun of us.
There are a lot of people who are saying nope.
Nope.
I want to know, though, what the 3 things it is. There's definitely
20%. Sorry. 20%.
It's okay.
20%, yeah.
Why'd you say look to Chat? They're all being very mean.
Yeah.
It's just 2 things. Okay, all right. Well, I mean, they know more than we do.
Absolutely. Yeah, we finally have Bosa upgrade incoming as well.
Oh, never mind. Go. Just continue. Continue.
What did you see?
No. Just please continue.
Okay.
I don't want to make myself look worse.
Okay. I will just ignore that then. And we see chemistry and wow. Mr. Yo, like I could be playing there. Huh? Like it's almost the same. Like almost.
I mean, Nikov's gone for a desperation move with the heavy demos. He's going to make the Teresa die. I think it'll be the first time we've seen it in NAC4 main event.
I think so, yeah.
So that's exciting. But I'm really struggling to see his way back with Yo having shipwright and with Yo being able to go galleons here. Let's see.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very tough here. Have you seen Nikov going for shipwright himself? I don't think so. He does not have.
No, he couldn't afford
that,
it.
Right?
Yep, correct. He's got 74 on wood though, so ships being cheaper might not matter if you have 74 on wood. But eventually the wood will run out, which is kind of the point.
Yeah.
And also Yo has the stone and gold in the middle. He also has 3 relics. If I'm not wrong, there's 2 relics on each island and then 1 relic in the middle. So he was able to snag that one. A really good position for Yo, who is now pushing Nikov's island with Navy. And again, for Nikov, well, he runs out of ideas here. Calls the GG. Another case of Nikov trying to do a lot very early on. Yo just soaking up the pressure to take it to late game. And I thought that Yo's approach there was perfect. What do you think, Jordan?
Absolutely. And, you know, that's the tricky thing if you're up against Bengalis, because they have kind of 2 things. They can play boom game and water, and they can also go forward with monk aggression like Hera did against Viper. And it is so tricky to play against that because scouting is so important and it's hard on that map, right? And usually you don't see them going for fast feudal.
Yep.
Fast cast is most of the time to play. So scouting has to be on point and you have to have the right answers as well. So Mr. Yo once again displayed a beautiful show for how to play that map, and yeah, Nikov tried but was not capable of doing so.
Are Bengalis good enough where they're just bannable? Like, are people going to prioritize Bengalis on a ban because of their play on that map?
It feels wrong, right? But
it does feel super wrong.
It's wrong because there are so many good civs out there on so many different maps. So I personally would not ban them. I think I would be very confident against them. So yeah, I think they're strongest civs to ban.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, and part of it is too, you know, with Italians and Poles being on the list for Yo, for example, Italians and Poles can kind of be played on all maps. Bengalis very much only feel strong on Northern Isles right now. This is a best of 7 here. Winner of this series will move on tomorrow to play TaToH, your teammates, who will be very prepared and I think is watching intently right now. But excited to see if Nikov can tie it up. Remember when these guys played in a best of 5? 5 days ago, it went to the 5th game. Nikov's got Persians, his very first pick available. I'm expecting we see that here, and he just goes for the victory to tie this series up.
Absolutely. So Persians on Frigid Lake, that's kind of a given. On the other side, Mr. Yo, still access to Khmer and Berbers. We have Golden Lakes in the mix as well. Chinese is not a civ on Golden Lakes, so...
Yeah, do you maybe pick Golden Lakes because you're kind of confident in Malay if you're Nikov and you're unsure on what Yo would use?
Let's see. We see Frigid Lake and Persians against Khmer.
Okay, so the answer to my inquiry there was no. So
I was hoping that the game starts so I don't have to answer because I didn't know the answer.
Okay.
I was like, huh.
Oh, well, Jordan, as always, we appreciate your honesty. So
yeah,
thank you for that. So Persians have been, at least the first couple days, they were one of the best civilizations in this tourney. It feels like Persians maybe even preferred over Lithuanians on the 9 villager start. because you can make a bit more of that plus 50 wood, plus 50 food that you get here on Frigid Lake.
Yep.
One of the build orders I remember is players actually even skipping a lumber camp and going for the dock and adding a fishing ship or two.
Yep.
But here in this case, Nikov, he's gone for his lumber camp. He will probably contest the water. The Khmer, they don't need to rely on the fish as much. That doesn't mean that they won't dock. That doesn't mean they need to not respect the fact that their opponent's going to be on the water. But the fact that they can just build farms anywhere, and even before a mill, if you wish to, and you don't need to drop off the food at a mill or a TC, is just massive. And every time Yo's played Khmer, he's done a great job with that.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why Khmer is one of the strongest civilizations on this map, because of the fact that, you know, as you mentioned, you can place a farm wherever you want to. You're not dependent on a TC position. You're not dependent on a mill to drop the food off. And this map is tricky because you start with, how's it called, the shallow terrain, right?
Yeah, you could call it that. Yep.
Yeah. And that way you cannot place any farms there, right? Which you usually, in that place, you build the farm. So Khmer, really, really good. And also, this map is super open as well, right? So you can have houses which villagers are capable of jumping into as well. And Khmer just have so many options here.
Whoa, what is this uptime? Okay, so Yo going to go early dock or early archery range, one or the other.
I think it is going to be an archer range.
I was going to say dock, but he's walked pretty far here.
I would be surprised if it's a dock. Usually you don't want to compete.
What's he spinning the...
There's a dock.
It's okay, Jordan. We as casters merely just make predictions and guess what a player is going to do. This does not mean you know less about the game. Or at least that's what I tell myself when I'm wrong.
I will start applying that as well. I'm curious about that one because persons... Yeah, okay, he's way up faster, right?
Yeah,
so I understand that
fast.
logic. I understand. He went up with 15 villagers.
What if he walls in the dock? Oh, no, you can't fully wall it in,
no,
can you?
No. But 15 villagers.
It's
the fastest
so
I've seen so far is 17 with non-Mongols. Mongols 16, I think.
Yeah.
So that is just absolutely insane. The scout will go down. The fishing boats most likely will go down as well. Nikov obviously
Nikov needs to fight there. He's going to lose that scout anyways. Nikov needs to fight that.
He has to, yeah.
That is really poor from Nikov, I think.
Oh, God.
I mean, maybe he saves it, but in the event he doesn't save this, not trading any HP off of that scout is disastrous for Nikov in a must-win game.
He will save it for a second, no?
Nope.
No. Bam.
Oh, that was painful.
That hurt so much. And you're up against Khmer as well. You don't know if they transition to archers.
Yep. That map is OP, though. that map
berries?
is really good. The berries will hurt.
Yeah.
And that is actually just as important as the gold, to be honest. But at least the gold and the wood, which is what he's going to need for now, can be walled in.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nikov, he only has resources for one fire galley.
Mm-hmm.
This is such a disaster for him. Beautiful strategy by Mr. Yo. And look at the resources collected. Yeah, persons with Nikov, he is ahead, of course. However, the fishing boats are not really paying back yet because of the fact that they, most of the time, have been running away from the other units here.
This is where it gets really tricky, right? Because your opponent invests 175 wood in the dock, or 150 wood in the dock, and then 175 wood in the range. That's very little wood investment compared to Nikov putting 300 wood into docks, then the ships, then needs 175 wood for the barracks, then another 175 wood for the range, and that's even before the archers.
Exactly.
So there's some real timing here for Yo, but the positive for Nikov is that he's got the 2 docks, so he can still probably hold control of water.
Yep.
Yo's never fished, and then also he has his walls down. Walling was the perfect thing for Nikov in that situation.
Absolutely, and I think his best play would be to build a tower
on the berries?
Before the mill. I think if he does that, he guarantees himself a good position because he has access to the water. He knows that his opponent was up so much faster than him. There's no way he has a good economy behind that.
And he's also not seeing any production on water anymore from Yo, which should tell you that Yo obviously has an archery range.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. And he's adapting, right? He's already queuing up the fishing boats himself.
Yep, tower is on the berries.
Tower on the berries, that is the play.
That's a good tower. Yo.
But Mr. Yo will see that now. And he could, in theory, loop around and go tower the berries from the other side.
Okay,
that's
hear me out.
Yeah?
Hear me out. forward dock from Yo around the TC from Nikov.
Oh, God. And then build fire galleys and get down the TC?
I mean, obviously this is like far too risky, and I don't think it should ever work.
You're
not going to take out the Persian TC.
I love the idea, though.
But, like, a galley, if you could bring it to the left of the TC, I'm not sure if it could be ranged, and just one galley sitting there would be really awkward for Nikov at the very least.
This kind of reminds me, and I think that's the reason why you came up with the idea. There is a very similar map. How's it called? Where you also start with a TC and you have to transport your villagers out. How's that one called again?
I know what it's called, but I really want to hear you guess. Yes.
Houseboat! Houseboat. And then you also have the possibility to kill the TC with fire galleys.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where it comes from, right? There.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew it. You love that map.
Because, like, the way to counter it, I guess, would be for Nikov to put Vils inside of his TC.
Yeah.
Which would be kind of annoying. But at the end of the day, what Yo really wants is he wants the sure thing. If he goes for an attack, he wants to make sure he gets value. Absolutely. So he's going to be going for the fishing ships. But it's going to be Desperation, Demo, and Fire Galley. Meanwhile, his archers haven't gotten in, and Nikov has defended pretty well so far. Still, though, I feel like Yo's ability to do this, take his berries freely and farm could lead to a faster castle age for him.
Oh, absolutely. He already has such a good farm count as well. He doesn't have to be worried about any aggression from Nikov on land whatsoever. There's a barrack up for Nikov. Archer range still not planted yet.
Yep.
And, you know, the berries are just really, really awkward. He only has 7 on wood as well. So if, oh god, if Mr. Yo even builds a tower behind the wood line, that would be just a big, big problem.
Yeah, Yo Nikov used his demo a second ago. We missed it, but there's just so many ships out here from Nikov. So Nikov, as long as he micros properly, thanks for all the donations, everyone. The fires could go down here. I heard the scout go down there for Yo. Now he's going to lose that fire galley. So if you're Nikov and you can actually justify spending the wood on it, I would go fishing ships.
Absolutely. That's the only advantage you have, right? And I feel like Nikov right now is adding too many fire galleys. He needs to switch back to the fishing boats because that's exactly what Mr. Yo wants. He wants Nikov to overinvest. And you know what the most important thing is going to be for Nikov now?
The market.
The market.
Yep.
Like
and
the market
I think
is the
you
must.
called the timing.
Yeah. Like he needs that so desperately. Yeah, because he has such a big gold surplus and his economy is, I would not consider it as balanced right now.
Yeah, absolutely. We say absolutely a lot when we cast together. Because I started to say that, and now you always say it. I think it's just a sign that we know so much about the game, and we're always on the same wavelength.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah, agreed.
Nope.
Well, would you buy 100 stone here to tower your wood line if you're Nikov? Because this is super annoying.
It is a tricky decision to make. Now that I'm saying that, he used the market quite heavily, and I don't see any big stone in there.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't expect that one.
No, I didn't expect that to get 2 kills.
Yeah, I was like
really far away.
Yeah.
It's funny, we'll see demos hit 4 ships and not kill anything.
Yeah.
But thankfully the ships were weak enough there. Can we see Can we see the HP on all those lumberjacks though?
It's gotta be low. Yeah, they went through some tough times.
Yeah. I mean, second lumber camp makes sense.
Yeah.
But man, oh man, some real control here for Yo. There's less pressure on Yo because if he doesn't win this one, there's still another game in hand for him. A lot of pressure on Nikov. And he needs to make sure he wins this game and the next game to advance to play against TaToH tomorrow. And a big demo, that one lands. And that is absolutely exactly what we needed to see there, maybe from both players. Oh,
that was so good for Nikov. That was so good. He was able to kill 2 fire galleys with a demo almost. And now Nikov is trying to go for a castle age.
Oh, God.
And a stable with 2 on food.
Yeah, because he finished the berries now.
Oh, God.
He just finished the berries. The villagers are just chilling out underneath that tower there. And he hasn't really realized this. Oh my goodness.
Oh, Nikov.
Oh, there's so much idle time. He must have also set his rally point there.
Yeah.
The only reason there'd be villagers there is if he set his rally point there.
Yeah, he has 14 idle villagers. He now is fixing them. But they have been idle for a long time. What is the work efficiency? We don't have that, right? Okay, never mind. Work efficiency. 69. I think that is...
and 42% the last minute is painful. Yo has gotten so much value with so little this game.
Absolutely.
Right?
He's up to cast stage now himself, 1
Yep.
minute delayed, but I would always take Mr. Yo's position right now because his economy is so well balanced and he has the aggression in front. Yeah, he doesn't have the water control, but at this point, there are only 2 fishing boats anyway. So
exactly.
who cares?
Nikov was never comfortable enough to be able to add more, which was the key here for Yo.
Exactly.
And Yo's not finished either. Yo's still making some fires and could make some demos periodically. So, and this also could lead to an attack, and we know those villagers are weak.
This is hilarious.
Oh, this is gonna destroy Nikov.
This is so typical for Mr. Yo. You know, he's just using those 2 villagers and going ham here. Mr. Yo doesn't even expect
He doesn't even expect it.
Oh!
No, the weak
The weak ones!
No.
One goes down!
No!
He cannot defend!
A market. Okay.
He cannot defend! Build a palace again, Mr. Yo!
That one's weak too! No!
Oh no, there's so many low HP ones! He's dancing them!
You can see it on Nikov's face too. He knows how crucial this timing is because he's already so far behind.
Oh, disaster.
Yo, this just looks so comical. Yo's villager just strolls away. He's like, all right, guys, I'm not needed. I'm going to just leave now.
You guys take it over.
Yeah. Great job from Yo here in this game. He has a 5-0 eco KD, but the resources collected is over 1,000 resources above what Nikov has brought in.
And that after the market has been used as well.
Yeah, that's true. And the market, it tacks on resources to the resources collected.
And he even more. And it's not like Nikov, you know, was using it once or twice.
Well, to be fair, he probably used it once or twice, but he sold 1,000 resources when he did.
He did more clicks there. Oh, nice spotting. Nice spotting by Nikov.
Ooh.
He smelled something. And now there are 2 villagers, though. So Mr. Yo will finish that table.
Yep.
Especially with the quick walls here. Yeah, he's going to be fine here. I think if we're talking about longevity in terms of the night production, I feel like Mr. Yo is capable of spending a little more resources onto that. And then Nikov with 6 on food.
Yeah, and we're going to see the water matter a whole lot in about 10 seconds. Yo's just waiting. He's adding a knight and a scout from that stable. Nikov's going to try his best to kill that villager, should kill the villager. Nikov will not have War Galley, so it's the demo that matters the most, but I don't know if the demo will complete. Okay, demo does pop out. Now we've got the upgraded ships. Nikov with his own demo.
That could be huge. Never mind, Mr. Yo splits away here.
Yeah, half decent there for Yo. Again, still only 2 fishing ships, but this just shows how good Yo's position is. Yeah. Because he's able to afford this, mop up water, and also have the town centers at home.
Absolutely. And now he denies the only advantage Mr. Nikov has. And, you know, if we take a look at the food count, it's rising and rising for the Khmer player and the Persian player right now. How many farms does he have? Nothing.
No, not a lot.
Like 2 or 3? There are 2 fishing boats and 4 villagers. So he has 3 farms. That's it.
Oh, boom! Oh. It's not getting any better here for Nikov as Yo is up 3-2. Extending his lead even further with that demo, and just a classic Yo move to add the scout here. So he's got lots of vision to know exactly what Nikov's been up to. He saw the town center. I'm not sure if he saw the monastery, but he saw that farming eco. And Yo is in the perfect position here. Nikov, though, expanding his farming eco onto town centers is the Persians, and the Persians are really tough to kill.
Absolutely. Yeah.
This is where small things like monks or scouts on monks or just like a knight getting through a hole in a wall. Any tiny little advantage you can get needs to happen for Nikov.
Yeah. The thing is also, I mean, gotta keep in mind Persians.
What was that conversion,
Mr.
dude?
Yo conversion.
What was that conversion?
Mr. Yo conversion.
The conversions have been so much faster in this tournament than any tournament I remember. What in the world?
That, like, if someone asks me, Jordan, what is a Mr. Yo conversion, I will show them this 2-3 second clip.
Oh my god! And now there's a demo on the cables. Oh. Also, I think Yo laughed there. I don't know if production can give us a highlight. I see viewers saying that. But Yo clearly recognizing that the RNG gods were in his favor there.
Kind of looked like that, yeah. I like what Mr. Yo did as well with that stable. He added 1 unit there and stopped production.
Yep.
And Nikov right now has no idea. Is there more coming? How much do I have to invest into defending a potential knight push as well.
Okay, this is Yo's reaction. Okay, if Yo does that, if Yo does that, then clearly he knows that was ridiculous.
But I'm happy to see that, because that is an indicator that he didn't expect that one.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
Of course. That's why I screamed.
Oh, God. I didn't even catch that one. That was super
funny.
important. Yeah.
Well, Yo's showing a lot of emotion there. And
even fishing himself.
Here he goes with the demo. Oh, kills the monk. I think that's worth it.
That's worth it, yeah.
And now you've got another demo. And, of course, Nikov, look, he can't convert that fire. He's been converting it for 3 centuries. What is that? What is that? Now he converts it.
Yeah. Okay, now finally Nikov managed to find the right song as well. Yeah, it's just a tough position. Overall, the army count looks okay for Nikov right now, so he will be able to hold on a little bit longer, but look at the resources by Mr. He can almost go up to Imperial Age anytime soon, and in the meanwhile, his opponent is stuck on... Okay, I was talking about Imperial Age, and now Mr. is investing into the upgrade, so never mind that thought, but still Nikov with only 15 on food as well, so you know, it looks very rough for him right now.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm not sure what he can really do. Again, it's like every demo, every conversion, those things need to go his way. And then he needs to hope that Yo doesn't use this advantage, because sometimes when you have the resources floating in and you think you have a massive lead, you could use it for Imperial Age or something. Yeah. But instead, Yo's going to invest it into Army, as we would have expected here, Jordan. And with Nikov's base being as wide open as it is, it's just not going to make life any easier for Nikov.
No chance. And Mr. is going to have a very nice timing attack, because he right now in total has 4 stables, if I'm not mistaken, 3 there, 1 in a proxy position as well. Yep. That one is going to last...
Is there still a villager there repairing it?
Yeah. I don't think you can out-repair that damage output, though.
Well, it certainly meant that army has been stuck there a lot longer, though.
Yeah. Villager will go down. It could, in theory, hop into the house, but that's kind of waste of APM. Yeah. And I like what Nikov is doing. He's expanding his farm economy as well, but that also illustrates the differences between Khmer and other civs. Khmer have it so easy to plant down farms, and we see that Mr. Yo took full advantage of that one, getting relics in as well. And look at this beautiful economy here. It will grow more and more here.
Okay, because Yo's in such a good spot, I've been saving this for the right moment.
I'm curious now.
If Nikov would send a villager in the back of Yo's base right now, what would you call it? The sneak off.
The sneak off? Because of Nikov?
And sneaking, get it?
A sneak off. Oh.
Not even a laugh?
Well, the problem is I always understand jokes like 10 hours after they've been told. It started in how is it called, preschool?
Okay, that's fine.
Like they were always like, "Hey, Jordan, blah blah," and I was like looking at them. They were laughing. I was looking at them like, "Am I supposed to laugh now as well?"
Guys, I've been waiting for Nikov to sneak with anything for the longest time, and he did it like once or twice, and I was like, "No, that's not fitting of the joke." Yeah, I need it to be a different moment. Yeah. But right now for him, he's not going to be doing a whole lot of sneaking. The Lycav raid could be devastating. He does have knights and camels, which are the superior unit, though. Yeah. So he can trade pretty nicely defensively here, and maybe this could be seen as a waste of resources for Yo.
Yeah, the good thing for Mr. Yo, though, is he's switching to the pikeman as well, and with knight and pikeman combination, you obviously shred the camel and knight combination. So persons will be forced to go for crossbows in that case, otherwise they cannot really compete. They could, in theory, go for pikeman as well, but it's not something you want to go for against Khmer, because they have it so easy to do those kind of army compositions.
Oh man, and Yo loves his forward castles. There's a lot of forward stone and gold there. Yo's gonna walk forward, drop the castle. It's just classic Yo. And Nikov's doing everything he can to come back right now, but he's gonna get demoed. Oh! What?
What is he going to get?
Boom?
Boom.
Yeah, he got a boom, and there's the castle now. This is clearly where Yo's focus was. He's also killing a lot of villagers with the Lycav, and I'm not sure if Nikov's counterattack is going to accomplish much, and boom!
Now finally we have it. We would need a second one, and then everything would go down. And oh, T90, how much do you like this castle for Mr. Yo here?
It's perfect.
It's 10 out of 10, right?
It's like when you make a trip back home to see your family after years away, it's just so familiar, you know? So comfortable. It reminds me of the good old days.
Wow.
I love that. Yo building a forward castle just makes me remember that life doesn't really change all that much, you know?
Wow.
Will he ever stop with his forward castles? I don't think so.
No.
He'll always do it.
It's his trademark.
Between
right?
forward castles and fast conversions, you know, Yo's going to live the rest of his days that way.
Yeah. And
But
Nikov
the
is
GG's
forced
called.
to call it.
And
Mr. Yo was just a little bit too much for Nikov, and I felt like, you know, Hera was mentioning as well, and I would definitely agree with him. Mr. Yo, I felt like was not performing on his level at the group stage, but right now, today, it felt like he stepped it up a little bit more.
His strategy was just so good, right?
Absolutely.
And the frustrating thing for Nikov is probably the Golden Swamp game.
Yeah.
Because in Golden Swamp, he had a really nice lead that he threw away, right, with some mistakes. If he wins that game, we're going to a Game 7 in this series, which many people had kind of predicted, right?
Yeah.
But strategy and consistency is key, especially in these long sets. Yo wins the best of 7. We'll move on to face TaToH, who is probably getting ready for them right now, going to his little strategy book. Yeah, there he goes. But anyways, it was a great cast, Jordan. I had a really good time. What is this?
Likewise. This is
Jordan's face when T90 jokes around. That's actually a really good point. That's a really good point. Why do you smile more when I'm not joking?
That is so good. I don't know. Like, but it's not dependent on you. Like, give everyone. The only person I would laugh about is if Villese comes here and tells me a joke. Then I would be actually laughing.
Why?
Villese, where are you?
I mean, to be honest, his one-liners are amazing. So
yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
Well,
you know, there's a. I told that story yesterday as well. Like, Villese started kind of. How would you say? Like, not really trash
destroying
talking,
everyone?
Destroying me in Heidelberg when, you know,
Yeah.
like, there were two situations. And then yesterday, after I lost that outcrop game, I asked him, Villese, you know everything. You have the answer to everything. What could I have done better on that outcrop game? And he's thinking, like, in silence for 3 seconds, just play better.
I mean, was he wrong?
No, but it's like, oh, thank you. Thank you for that advice, Villese.
Oh, man, what a series. Yo's actually laughing at that comment now.
Yeah.
And we will have an interview. I don't know if it's a we situation. Would you like me to?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, great, because I'm going to have some jokes, and I need someone who laughs. So.
Okay, yeah, Mr. Yo is known for that, so let's do that.
Wonderful.
It was a pleasure tonight. It was a phenomenal experience. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Jordan. I'll just skirt over there and do the interview with Yo. Hello, Yo. Apologies for all the awkward energy here. We're talking about a million different things after your series.
Yes, fine.
But how are you feeling? I talked to you yesterday, asked you about how you felt about this series. Best of 7, 4-2 victory over Nikov. Not bad.
I'm quite happy that I advanced, and I think best of 7 is better than best of 5 for me. Like, I need time to get into the game.
Okay, gotcha. So, does that mean, like, from a warm-up perspective?
Yeah.
Okay. So at what point do you feel like you are the best version of yourself? Game 3? Game 4?
I mean, game 1 was disaster, right?
Okay.
So after the game, I feel kind of okay.
Okay, gotcha. Well, you know, I was going to ask you about this, but it's a little awkward because you just said it was a disaster. Did you initially plan on building the TC when you did here? Because you went Army before the town center. That didn't work out for you.
Yeah. I saw him picking Portuguese, and I just thought Portuguese, like, if they are going full army, 1 TC is really hard to stop, right? So I want to try something different.
Okay.
But it didn't work.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, you somehow play the game out for so much longer. Like, and I don't even mean after you probably dead. Like, you somehow had like a 15 villager lead even when he was harassing all your town centers. I did want to ask you though, because I think you would even say that you did play on a bit longer in game 1. Is that due to what you had just said to me, that you just feel like the longer you play, the better you feel? Yeah,
I think it's actually the case for many players. Like, I know, like, when they know they are going to lose game 1, they will keep playing for a while just to, you know, get.
I'm the same way.
warm-up.
I'm the same way. I just lose game 1 a lot more frequently than you do. So.
Okay.
Okay, so you lose this game. You have the peace of mind, obviously, that it's a best of 7. So game number 2, I should remember. It wasn't Northern Isles.
I don't.
It was it Golden Swamp? We're so good at this.
Yeah.
We're so good. We'll see it in a second. I'm tempted to ask you about it because I think it's Golden Swamp. So let's just do that.
Let's pretend that it's game 2.
Okay. And Golden Swamp, you picked the Byzantine.
No.
Oh, God, we forgot about this game. Okay, Mr. Yo, how do you feel the Magyars face up against the Vikings in this matchup?
I'm quite surprised by the Viking pick. I thought it was for water map, but then on the second thought, it makes sense, right? They have strong economy, and this map is quite close to each other. Man-at-arms start, then switch to archer, maybe fast castle will work. Then I kind of improvise and taking the other fish, you know?
Yeah.
Except the fish in the middle. I think that helps a lot. And when the game goes into Imperial Age, I think Viking has nothing to do against Magyar.
Yeah, agree with you on that. Okay, this game,
Yeah, finally.
you were behind here, right? You were definitely behind. What changed this game for you?
I think Nikov made a bad decision trying to go to land, but like he built a stable, but he's not quite committed into landing. Like he should just, if you are going to land, you have to add siege and make it monastery, and he didn't do that. He just went boom and gave out the water. Yep,
absolutely. Yeah, that was kind of our impression as well when we were casting. And then, I mean, this highlight is just Nikov trying to endlessly build docks.
Yes.
I assume you knew that you had the game 1 at this point?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, game 4, you're up 2-1 then. I wanted to ask you about that. You obviously have played from behind many times and played when you have the lead. You said that you play on a bit longer at times in like game 1 if you're losing or whatever, just to get more feel for the series. But does it affect your performance when you're winning? I know that sounds like an obvious question, but like, does it make you play better if you're up 2-1 here like this?
Yeah, of course. Like, it's always, there's something about warming up and another thing about having a score lead.
Having a score lead, okay. Yeah. It seemed like an obvious question, but I just had to ask. Talk me through this.
Oh, I love my early gameplay here, this game. I think I play beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 man-at-arms, Jordan and I were heavily criticizing you for that.
Really?
Yeah.
That was smart, no?
Well, it worked really well, yeah, but Jordan was like, well, I don't think this is going to do damage, T90. I've never seen this before.
Well, I improvised.
Okay.
I wanted to go man around, but then my scout saw his villager like heading to wood big time. I knew he was going much faster than me. Then I just told myself maybe militia isn't enough.
What went wrong here? You were up to imp faster. You had the push rolling. What was the issue?
Yeah, I switched to scouts too early, and I made the castle in his back. Like wasting a resource, I should just mass unit there.
Yeah, maybe built that castle in the middle as well.
Yeah. Just go all in the middle.
Gotcha. Yeah. At this point, I'm sure you probably felt it slipping away a little bit once you saw the Shravamshas and the hand cannons. And I'm not really sure. Like you were cut off, right? You weren't able to bring all your units to the same spot, which was an issue. And it felt like he just had such a big eco lead here.
Yeah, and his units are way better.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Northern Isles, we're going to see a lot of demo action here at this point. But like, I think you and I talked about it with ACCM, and I didn't give as much detail as I will now. But I really feel like it's just a safe civilization to play, right?
Yeah,
would you agree?
Safe. Yeah, true.
Like, even if something bad happens to you, you still have a villager lead, right? And if you take a bad fight, your ship still regenerates. So is that kind of logic behind picking them? Like, it's just an easy civ to play?
I mean, yeah, that's the logic. Like, when he's landing me, I just go 3 TC boom right away, and I reach castle much faster than him. And after Nikov went to castle and make a siege, it was too late to do any damage on the land. And yeah, like to say, their ship generate HP, which is huge.
Ooh, did you get Mahayana as well?
Yeah, in the final moment.
Oh, that's sick. I don't know if I've seen anyone research that on this map yet. That's really smart.
Yeah, that's my problem. I always want to research some tech.
Or place a castle in the wrong spot. Look at this, man. He had so many weak villagers in that wood line, and this, I think you already had the lead, but this really cemented your lead in this game. Were you surprised that you broke through there, though, with your villagers and your archers?
Well, I mean, he wasn't making any skirmisher. I knew at a point I should be able to break in.
Okay.
Like I even do the +1.
Yeah, the fletching. It was like right in that moment as well. Yep.
Yeah.
There's going to be a moment here that I assume is going to be on the highlight with the conversion. Okay, you laughed. You laughed at this. Talk me through why you laughed.
Because I heard Nico was like shit.
So it was because Nikov swore? It wasn't because he thought it was a fast conversion?
No, he wasn't swearing. He was like,
okay.
I know.
So he was frustrated.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess normally you don't get to hear their frustration when you're, thousands of miles away. So that's kind of funny.
Yeah. But then it got converted back, right?
Yeah, it did. It wasn't quite as quick. I'll give you that. But and then, you had good economy, yo. A lot of people try and go Imperial Age there. You decide for the forward castle. I'm shocked that you went forward castle. I would never see you do that.
What do you mean?
I'm kidding. Sarcasm here. Because you do that like all the time. So.
Okay.
Well, anyways, you win the series. You will now face TaToH tomorrow, again in a best of 7. How do you think you match up against TaToH, and how excited are you for that series?
It's always so happy. It's always happy to face someone you lost, like get a chance to do the revenge.
Yep.
And I don't know. See him tomorrow, I guess.
Do you think that you're the favorite in that series?
No, because I lost last time.
Okay.
He's the favorite.
Okay, gotcha. So you go in as the underdog. Does that help you at all? Because there's possibly less expectation from,
Yeah, well,
because you're the underdog.
not really for me. I don't care about those.
Okay.
I just want to win.
Okay. Do you, final question for you would be, do you have any strategies that you have hidden away that you and ACCM have been talking about on smoke breaks that you're going to reveal at some point tomorrow?
Yeah, maybe tomorrow.
Okay. All right, good. Well, I won't ask any more details. That'd be unfair of me to do.
Cool.
We will have another series coming up here in just a bit here at NAC4, and going to give it to Nili to take it away.